Chapter 2103. Big brother, I realize that the smartest person in your family isn't you, sis-in-law, or Pudding. It's this little foodie. She's so shrewd, pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger. She doesn't even have to worry about how to make money, she can just order the three of you around and enjoy herself. Perfect. Qin Ning gave Little Bean a thumbs up. Okay, it's about time for me to go to work. Ning Ning, do you have any plans today? Qin Chu looked at Qin Ning and asked. We're going to the amusement park. I promised to take them to the merry-go-round and eat pizza. Okay, go. Remember to bring enough bodyguards. Be careful here, Qin Chu reminded her. Then, Qin Chu looked at Pudding worriedly. Pudding, don't be reckless this time. You have to stay close to Auntie and the bodyguards. I know, Daddy. I won't run around. After giving his instructions, Qin Chu walked out of the room, relieved. On his way back, his phone rang. He put on his Bluetooth headset and answered the call. Did anything happen with Huasiqian? Qin Chu asked. President Qin, nothing happened. It's very quiet. That's strange. He was played by Immerse or like this and yet he didn't do anything. It's not like him. Keep a close eye on him and let me know if anything happens, Qin Chu said cautiously. Okay, President Qin. Don't worry, we'll keep a close eye on him. Qin Chu had been keeping a close eye on Huasiqian and was thinking of ways to lure him into a trap. Now that Immerse was involved, things became more complicated. This wasn't a good thing for Qin Chu. It wasn't good to alert the enemy. Now that Huasiqian was being more careful, Qin Chu couldn't do anything to him. At South Side, Qin Chu was worried that Ni Yang's depression would relapse because of the stress. In the morning, Huamin asked Chen Jia and Ni Yang to leave the city and take an early flight to Bali for vacation. After talking to Su Yu on the phone, Huamin was even more certain that the mastermind behind the defamation of Ni Yang was that person. She planned to meet that person in person and have a good talk with her. However, just as he was about to leave, his phone suddenly rang. It was a string of unfamiliar numbers with an English logo. The phone rang for a long time before Huamin slowly picked it up. Then, he said warily, Hello? Sis, it's me. Huamin immediately felt a little excited when he called her sister. Yen. Huamin was overjoyed. He hadn't heard from Lu Yen for a long time after their hasty farewell. Yeah, I miss you, so I called you secretly. But it won't be long. I'm afraid someone will follow me. Lu Yen said cautiously. Little Yen, are you still in the Golden Triangle? Are you hurt? Are you in danger? Huamin knew that time was of the essence, so he kept asking questions. Calm down, sis, I'm fine. I left the Golden Triangle a long time ago. I also went to Vietnam and took out the Vietnamese gang's nest. Unfortunately, I didn't find Xinjiani. But I'm still asking people to track her down. Don't worry. Don't. It's okay if you can't find her. It's Huasi who hurt us, not Xinjiani. Huamin's thoughts were simpler. Just leave it to me. Don't worry. Where are you now? Are you safe? Huamin was very worried about Lu Yan's situation. Ever since he found out that she was the world's most wanted criminal, he was worried sick about her. I'm in Russia with Psycho Chiao. Don't worry, I'm safe. That's good. Huamin nodded in relief. Sis, it's almost Chinese New Year. I actually have a crazy idea. Lu Yen said mysteriously. What idea? Huamin asked curiously, not knowing what Lu Yen was thinking. Chapter 2104. I want to convince Dad to spend New Year's with you guys. Lu Yan's idea was crazy enough that even Huamin was shocked by it. Are you surprised? Lu Yen asked with a smile. I'm surprised too. If I could spend New Year's with you and Dad, that would be my greatest wish, right? Ever since Hua Min found out that he still had family in this world, he felt warmth in his heart. He also looked forward to it, especially when he remembered the old man who gave him balloons at Disneyland. Lu Yan knew that she shouldn't expose her identity, but she still appeared at the critical moment and saved Qin Chu from the tragedy of choosing between her and Little Bean. Hua Min had never thought that he would have such a strong sister. At the same time, he felt sorry for Lu Yan. If she had a choice, she wouldn't want to live her life on the edge of a knife. After all, for a young and beautiful girl in her 20s, a peaceful life with family and friends was the most important thing. Therefore, Hua Min sincerely hoped that Lu Yan could change her lifestyle and live a peaceful life. However, he knew that this wasn't something that could be done easily. I have to think of a way to deal with this. I'm fine with it, but I'm afraid that Dad won't agree and won't come. That psycho Ian just wants to catch me out of interest, but he's been wanting to catch Dad for many years. Dad doesn't want to drag you guys into this, so he might not come. It's just a thought, sis, don't get your hopes up. I understand, Yen. I understand. Ian wants to catch Daddy because Daddy has something he wants, right? Smart, that's it, then you have to tell Dad to be careful. Hua Min said worriedly. No problem, don't worry. Dad's tough, even tougher than me. Don't worry about us, take good care of the twins. Also, you have to be careful with Hua Xiqian. My brother-in-law probably told you about his relationship with Ian. Yeah, he did. Hua Min nodded. I'm sure he still has some feelings for you. Otherwise, he wouldn't have known about our relationship all these years without telling Ian. So, I'm grateful to Hua Xiqian. He even helped Dad hide the truth about what happened in Dongtao Town. It's not easy to hide your identity from Ian for so many years. Hua Min didn't say anything. He knew what Lu's meaning. If it was before, he wouldn't admit that Hua Xiqian had feelings for him. He would only say that Hua Xiqian was a psycho and that he was a thief. However, after being kidnapped by Hua Si last time, Hua Mian was well aware of Hua Xiqian's behavior. Hua Xiqian was a selfish person, but he risked his life several times to provoke Hua Si so that Hua Mian wouldn't get hurt. If it were Qin Chu or Su Yu, it wouldn't be strange, because they were men who valued relationships. However, when it came to someone as selfish as Hua Xiqian, who put his own interests above all else, it was unheard of. That was why Hua Min was a little soft-hearted and didn't let Qin Chu do anything to Hua Xiqian. She knew that if Hua Xiqian didn't die, he would be a big problem for her in the future. But at that moment, Hua Xiqian was beaten into a bloody pulp. Hua Min couldn't bear to see him die. She didn't care if people called her a saint or a white lotus, but at that moment, she couldn't bear to see Hua Xiqian die in front of her. Maybe this was Hua Min's unique kindness. Your brother-in-law has already started investigating Hua Xiqian. We won't let go of what he did to us. He has to pay for what he did to us. We just want to defeat him fair and square. Chapter 2105. Yeah, that's a good idea. It's very Qin Chu. Lu Yan chuckled. I heard from him that you guys met once in Russia. Hua Min chuckled as they talked about the past. Yeah, it was when I operated on Psycho Qiao. My brother-in-law is a miracle doctor. His skills are as good as our dad's. It's just that he's too cold. Oh my God, only you can stand it. Psycho Qiao doesn't like to talk, but he's not that cold and arrogant. Oh no, it's about time. Sis, there's a tracking signal, I'm hanging up. Take care of yourself. Then, before Hua Min could say anything, Lu Yan hung up. When she picked up her phone to check Lu Yan's number, she found that the number had been erased. There was no trace of it, as if the call had never been made. It seemed like Yan was very cautious. After hanging up, Hua Min remembered that he still had to do something for Ni Yang. After making an appointment with that person, he met her at one of the 13 cafes on the pedestrian street. Maybe it was because he hadn't seen Hua Min in a while, but the manager was surprised. President Hua. Why didn't you tell me you were coming? It's okay, you guys go ahead. I have something to discuss with someone here. What would you like to drink? I need someone to prepare it for you. The manager was flattered and asked carefully. Blue Mountain Coffee. Huamin walked to a secluded corner and sat down. Ingzi came in not long after Huamin sat down. After entering, she saw Huamin waving at her and walked over. President Hua, long time no see. Ingzi took off her sunglasses and smiled coldly. Have a seat. What would you like to drink? Huamin asked. Cappuccino is ready, Ingzi said. Huamin waved his hand and called the waiter over. Give her a cappuccino. Yes, President Hua. Tell me, why are you looking for me? Let's not beat around the bush. After all, everyone's time is precious and busy, right? Ingzi said arrogantly. Ever since Yang went to Imperial Star and terminated his contract with her, the two of them had fallen out. At first, Ingzi worked under Hua Xiqian. Later on, she was not put in an important position and did not have many artists under her, so she decided to open her own studio. The models she trained were all wild models. In private, there were rumors in the circle that her models took on some peripheral business. It was similar to the Ocean and Sky banquet that happened a few years ago, so Ingzi's reputation in the circle was getting worse. No well-known director or actor was willing to work with her, and her connections were of no use in this realistic society. You're really busy. You're busy trying to smear Yang's reputation, right? Huamin sneered at Ingzi. President Hua, you're so funny. Don't put the blame on me. Yang is a superstar now, and I'm just a has-been agent. We're not even on the same level. Ingzi chuckled. You know I'm not joking. I'm serious. I'm just curious, what's your intention in smearing Yang's reputation after so long? Huamin said calmly. President Hua, you can eat whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want. You can't just fall out with Yang because of my history with him. Now that Yang is in trouble, you're trying to frame me. You're a famous person, so don't be so stupid, okay? Ingzi seemed to have come prepared, so she did not admit to anything. Chapter 2106. Huamin wasn't in a hurry. He took a sip of his coffee and slowly said, when Yang was suffering from depression, you immediately took him to the doctor. To this day, he and his family are still very grateful for what you did. Plus, you pulled him out of his depression. I don't want to thank you for your kindness, but you should be grateful that Yang has been by your side for the past few years. He listened to almost everything you said. Sometimes, when he wasn't feeling well, he would still run commercials and record shows for you. The only thing he didn't discuss with you was the signing of GK. I know you don't have high hopes for GK. Although GK isn't in the entertainment industry anymore, Yang's talent hasn't been buried. President Su of Imperial Star gave him a better platform. But for the sake of Hua Xiqian's temporary benefits, you didn't care about his choice. You even framed Shen Jia and tried to drive a wedge between them. All these years, I always thought you and Yang were family. Even Yang himself thought so. But that's not the case. To you, he's just a money tree. You can do whatever you want when you're making money, but as soon as he doesn't listen to you or threatens your interests, you're heartless. Ingzi, we're both women, how can you be so heartless? Even if you raised a dog for many years, you'd still have feelings for it. You wouldn't harm it just because it ran away from home, right? How could you do that? Huamin coldly pointed at Ingzi's actions. First, he played the sympathy card, then he began to accuse and question her. President Hua sure has a vivid imagination. Ingzi seemed unwilling to admit it. You don't have to deny it. Other than you, I can't think of anyone else who would do something like this. Maybe the paparazzi really did something to expose their relationship. But, the way you smeared his name, didn't give him a chance to recover, and even exposed his past and 8 generations of ancestors. Other than you, I really can't think of anyone else who would do something like this. Huamin was almost certain that Ingzi was behind this. After hearing Hua Min's words, Ingzi raised her chin provocatively. So what if I did do it? Isn't it the truth? It's true that he cheated on me, didn't listen to me, and was with that little nurse. His parents' scandal, his mother's illegitimate son, and the ridiculous things he did when he was young, they're all true. I didn't smear his name. But as the person he once trusted the most, taking out these things is equivalent to rubbing salt on his wound. Moreover, you're doing this at such a sensitive time. Aren't you trying to ruin him? Hua Min was furious. Looking at Ingzi's smug face, he couldn't wait to stand up and give her 2 tight slaps. So what if he's ruined? I'm the one who created him. If I can support him, then I can also destroy him. Didn't you say that you were like his sister? Then why don't you come and save him? Aren't you a godlike existence with a high IQ? Ingzi asked as she looked at Hua Min with disdain. You're right. Yang is like my brother. He's like family to me. I won't sit back and do nothing, then go save him. Why are you looking for me? Ingzi raised her coffee proudly. Tell me, what do I have to do for you to let go? Let go of Yang? Hua Min took a deep breath, trying to calm himself down. Chapter 2107. Oh. You're enlightened already? President Hua. I thought you were going to scare me, threaten me, blacklist me, or make it impossible for me to survive in the industry. Haha. Ingzi looked up at Hua Min and laughed. No, you're not doing this to destroy Yang. You're doing this because you want to use this opportunity to get what you want. So, just state your conditions, I can make any decision for Yang. Of course, these conditions have to be within the range of what we can accept, and don't go too far. Okay. If that's the case, then I won't hold back, President Hua. After speaking, Ingzi raised her index finger and gestured at Hua Min. 10 million? Hua Min asked. Huh, 10 million? Do you think I'm a beggar? Yang's next endorsement deal is worth more than 10 million. I'm talking about 100 million. 100 million? Huh, you're asking for too much. Hua Min looked at Ingzi with a serious expression on his face. President Hua, you're exaggerating. This amount of money is nothing to rich people like you. GK's quarterly turnover is in the billions, and Yang's annual business value is more than 100 million yuan. President Su made money, you made money, and Yang received a lot of money. I used to be a talent scout, but my career is now at a low point, so it's only right for me to give you some money. As the saying goes, if you take someone's money, you have to take care of them. I think President Hua is a smart person and would like to settle this peacefully, right? That's right, I don't want this to get out of hand. The truth is, Yang's business is small, and he doesn't care about these things. I'm just worried that public opinion will cause his depression to relapse. You don't care about his life, and instead, you use such a vicious move to force him into a dead end. You're really something else. When Hua Min scolded someone, he didn't need to use any vulgarities to scold them. Unfortunately, Ingzi only smiled after hearing that. Long time no see, President Hua, you're still as eloquent as ever. But there's no point in saying all this. Even if you curse my ancestors today, I'll still say the same thing. Not a cent less. If you're not willing to pay, then I'll continue to expose you. As for how things will turn out, it's hard to say. But I'm barefooted right now, so I'm not afraid of you wearing shoes. So, President Hua, think about it yourself. My time is precious, so I won't waste my breath on you. Thank you for the coffee, President Hua. Contact me when you've made up your mind. That's all. With that, Ingzi stood up, picked up her bag, and left. Hua Min's expression was gloomy. People always said that actresses were heartless and prostitutes were heartless. Hua Mian used to think that Imo Shui and Song Yisher were already heartless. But now that he saw Ingzi, he finally knew what a real whore was. In her eyes, money was more important than anything else. She didn't care about her parents. If Hua Min remembered correctly, when they had a falling out, Yang had given Ingzi a large sum of money to terminate her contract. It could be said that she had nurtured herself over the years. Later, after she jumped ship from Hua Xiqian, she couldn't find an artist to work with. So Yang used his connections to help her without telling her. However, not only did she not care about their old relationship, she even used the things that Yang trusted her the most and told her as a bargaining chip to slander him. People like her were extremely hateful. What kind of fucking world is this? For the first time, Huamin felt like he had met an ungrateful and vicious bitch. As she walked out of the cafe, she cursed and slammed her steering wheel in anger. After she walked out of the cafe, she called Su Yu and briefly explained the situation to him. Huamin, what do you want to do? Su Yu asked in a serious tone, asking for Huamin's opinion. Chapter 2108. What do you think? Huamin asked Su Yu tentatively. I'll listen to you. Because of your relationship with Yang, I have to take your feelings into consideration. I can't treat him like other artists, so I'm being extra careful. Su Yu said seriously. Huamin felt as if there was a big stone pressing down on his heart. Actually, 100 million isn't a lot. It doesn't matter if you pay for it or I pay for it. You want to give her money? But even if you do, Imperial Star will pay for it. You don't have to. Su Yu immediately dismissed Huamin's idea of paying for it. No, I won't. It's not a matter of money now. It's her indifference to Yang that makes me angry and disappointed. I think so too. A woman like her is actually quite scary. If you give her money, can't you guarantee that she won't continue to blackmail you? She'll be a bottomless pit that will never end. I don't recommend paying for it either. Su Yu was relieved when he heard Huamin say that he wouldn't pay for it. The problem wasn't money, but Yang's attitude. As a big shot in the entertainment industry, Su Yu's style of doing things had always been decisive and domineering. Therefore, it was Lord Su's style to settle things peacefully with money. So, I already have a plan. What plan? After Huamin and Su Yu finished talking, Su Yu couldn't help but praise Huamin. Our Dr. Hua's little brain is so smart. When I'm drunk, I don't listen to walls, I only listen to you. I'll give you a thumbs up. Okay, don't talk nonsense. I still need you to cooperate with me, no problem. What do you need me to do? Just say the word. Su Yu answered without hesitation. I'm going to South Side in a bit. There's an important conference there. When I get home from work and organize everything, I'll release the information. When the time comes, you can work with a few media outlets to promote it. Oh, right, we have to buy the internet water army too. We can't allow that bitch to do as she pleases and distort right and wrong. We can't play dirty, understood? President Hua is mighty and domineering. I'll do as you say. You. Don't talk nonsense with me. After I'm done with this week, I'm planning to take the twins to visit Lord Su this weekend. Grandpa won't be home for a while. It's the end of the year, and there will be a lot of meetings in Jing City. But if you come, we'll welcome you. My parents miss Pudding and Little Bean. Well, it's not a bad idea to visit Uncle and Auntie. By the way, is Tang Chuan pursuing my sister-in-law? Huamin did not forget to gossip. I'm not sure. I haven't seen that guy recently. Su Yu was a little confused. Okay, I'll ask her later. But between you and Ning, before Huamin could finish his sentence, Su Yu immediately interrupted. Oh, right, I have to go now. I have to meet with a client. Bye. Huamin knew that Su Yu didn't want to talk about Qin Ning, so he found an excuse to leave. Inside the Hua mansion, ever since Hua Xiqian was released from prison, the Hua Corporation had suffered a lot of losses. He didn't go to work for a few days straight and only held video conferences at home. In the evening, Hua Xiqian was practicing calligraphy in his study. Boss, are we just going to let it go? That bitch Mo Shue put you in jail and caused us to lose so much money. She's fine, but she deliberately said that her condition was serious and that she was hospitalized at Southside to frame you. How can we let this go? Everyone wants to avenge you. Hua Xiqian's right-hand man said unwillingly as he stood behind him. Chapter 2109. Upon hearing this, Hua Xiqian paused for a moment before putting down the brush in his hand. Do you guys know what makes me so happy? Hua Xiqian asked without turning his head, his hands behind his back. His subordinates didn't know what their boss was thinking, so they didn't dare to say anything. I don't know, please enlighten us. It's when you're playing a game of cat and mouse, slowly enjoying the process. The most satisfying part isn't when you catch the mouse and kill it. It's when the fear in her heart is infinitely magnified during the chase. Hua Xiqian's subordinates were confused. They really didn't understand what their boss was thinking. Wasn't he supposed to take revenge on whoever he had a grudge against? Is Mo Shue still hospitalized at Southside? Hua Xiqian asked. Yeah, she's still hospitalized, and she's doing interviews every day. She's very high profile. It seems like she's planning to make a comeback. There's a rumor going around that she's joining Tianxin Media for 80 million yuan. They say that Mr. Xiang pulled the strings for her. I wondered if that's true. Yeah. Hua Xiqian nodded, then looked down at his watch. It was only 7:00, so it wasn't too late. He turned around and said to his subordinates, "Get the car ready, I'm going to Southside to see her." Boss, she's at the center of the storm right now. If you go. I'm afraid it's not convenient for you to go, right? His subordinates were a little flustered, they didn't know what their boss was up to. It's fine, get the car ready. Hua Xiqian didn't lose his temper the entire time, and his tone was very calm. When Hua Xiqian arrived at the hospital with a bouquet of red roses, everyone at Southside was shocked. Mo Shue's bodyguards panicked. Shue, Hua Xiqian is here. Mo Shue's agent was also dumbfounded as she rushed in to report. What's he doing here? Mo Shue was originally lying down and playing with her phone, but when she heard what her agent said, she immediately got up. She also looked a little flustered. I don't know. He only brought one bodyguard with him, and he's holding a bunch of red roses. He's just outside the ward. Do you want him to come in? Let him in. I don't think he can do anything to me in a public place like this. Mo Shue was still reluctant to part with Hua Xiqian. Therefore, even if they had become enemies, she was still willing to see him. This was what women couldn't bear to see. Miss Mo means to let Mr. Hua in. All of you, get out of the way. The manager ordered the bodyguards to leave. Hua Xiqian walked in with 99 roses in his hands. He walked straight to Mo Shue's bed. President Hua, you're so elegant. Although Mo Shue was wearing a hospital gown, she had put on a lot of makeup. She was dressed exquisitely and coquettishly as usual, not at all like a patient. Looking at the situation, it was clear that her injuries were not serious. In other words, she was not injured at all. Hua Xiqian smiled as he placed the flowers beside Mo Shue's bed. Then, he looked at her affectionately. What do you think? Do you feel better? This gaze made Mo Shue feel as if a lifetime had passed. In the depths of her memory, Hua Xiqian had only looked at her this way when they first got together. At that moment, she fell into a daze again. Ahem. Shue, President Hua is talking to you, her agent reminded her. Oh, okay. You can leave first. I want to talk to President Hua alone. Mo Shue snapped back to reality and said to her agent. Chapter 2110. Mo Shue's manager was worried about Mo Shue's safety. Get out, I'm fine, Mo Shue emphasized before her manager slowly left the room. Suddenly, only Hua Xiqian and Mo Shue were left in the luxurious VIP room. You actually hate me, don't you? Mo Shui felt guilty and didn't dare to look into Hua Xiqian's eyes. She had a lot of insults in her heart, but when she saw Hua Xiqian in person, she couldn't bring herself to say them. Why would I hate you? Hua Xiqian pulled a chair over and sat down. He picked up an orange from the table and carefully peeled it, because I made you suffer a great loss and your reputation is at stake. I also caused such a huge commotion and caused you to go to the police station. So, you probably want to kill me, right? Mo Shui bit her lip and enunciated each word clearly. Hua Xiqian wasn't in a hurry to answer. Instead, he broke off a small piece of the peeled orange and fed it to Mo Shui. Here, have some oranges. His tone was surprisingly gentle. Mo Shui froze again. What are you waiting for? Don't you love oranges the most? It should be very sweet in this season. Hua Xiqian put a piece of orange into Mo Shui's mouth and then ate one himself. The two of them didn't look like enemies at all, they looked more like a couple. When Hua Xiqian put another piece of orange into Mo Shui's mouth, she finally couldn't take it anymore. Hua Xiqian, don't fucking play this game with me. You can kill me with a nod of your head. What do you want? Mo Shui finally lost it. She slapped Hua Xiqian's hand away and the oranges scattered all over the hospital bed. She looked extremely pathetic. Hua Xiqian looked at Mo Shui with a half smile. Look, you're still so hot-tempered. Didn't I tell you that you have to be calm and collected? You won't be able to learn that. Are you reminding me to learn Hua Min? Ha. I'm telling you, I won't be able to do it. Hua Min is Hua Min, and I'm me. I don't want to imitate anyone, and I won't do it on purpose. Even if I did, you wouldn't like me. I know that. Mo Shui was a little emotional. She was really jealous of Hua Min. Hua Min's calmness and quick-wittedness were things she would never be able to learn. Especially in the face of a major event, that kind of extraordinary calmness. She believed that this was not something she learned, but rather, it was her nature. I'm not asking you to be like Mian. I'm just talking about your personality. Shui, you've been by my side for many years. I've watched you grow from an ordinary little girl to a movie star, so, I should be thanking you, right? But now, I'm biting the hand that feeds me. Ha. Mo Shui laughed viciously. No, you don't have anything to thank me for. You sacrificed your youth as well. I always thought that we were even and that we didn't owe each other anything. All these years, I made you famous, and you stayed by my side. I always thought that we would break up peacefully. I never thought that you would go to such extremes. Hua Xiqian calmly explained. We don't owe each other anything? Hua Xiqian, that's easy for you to say. Let me tell you, we'll never be even. You owe me a life, don't you know that? My child. My poor unborn child. You didn't even give him a chance to come into this world. But Hua Min was pregnant with someone else's child, and you watched her give birth to it. You even treated the twins as if they were your own. Do you even have a conscience? Are you cold-blooded? Mo Shui was still brooding over that child. Chapter 21:11. Especially in the past few years, her body was riddled with wounds, and the doctor said that her chances of getting pregnant again were slim. Hua Min, on the other hand, gave birth to a pair of adorable twins. How unfair was that? Shui, I always thought that you were a smart person, but you always do stupid things. You always compare yourself to Mian, but are you even comparable? You only see what Mian has now, but you don't know what she went through. You don't even know what she went through. So, I think that your envy, jealousy, and hatred are all blind. Even if Mian didn't exist, I still wouldn't have married you. You might have forgotten what I said to you when we first touched. Hua Xiqian reminded her. Mo Shui's mind seemed to go back to many years ago, when she met Hua Xiqian during an interview. Hua Xiqian said, let's make a deal. I'll make you famous, and you'll follow me. But remember, I won't marry you. We're just taking what we need." At the time, she nodded confidently and said, "Mr. Hua, I understand." But now? She had forgotten the promise she made. They say that one can only achieve success if they don't forget their original intentions. But now, how many people could still remember their original intentions? Mo Shui didn't know whether it was because there were too many temptations, or because she didn't have enough willpower. Either way, she was no longer the same person she used to be. It's already like this, what's the point of talking about it? We can't go back, neither of us can. Actually, I've been thinking, if you hadn't married Mo Shui, but me, would our ending have been different? Mo Shui's eyes were filled with tears. That won't happen. There are no ifs in life, only consequences and results. We're born to make choices and pay for our choices. Shui, you're not a kid anymore. You shouldn't be so stubborn. Okay, it's about time. I won't disturb you any longer. You should focus on your recovery. Hua Xiqian looked at the time and didn't want to waste any more time. Xiqian, if I tell you that I regret it and that I was wrong, will you still forgive me? Mo Shui looked at Hua Xiqian with tears in her eyes. If you said those words earlier, maybe, but now, it's too late. After speaking, Hua Xiqian smiled evilly and turned to leave. Mo Shui felt her heart completely cold. She knew that Hua Xiqian wouldn't let her go. She was dead meat. She looked at the bouquet of 99 roses, which meant that she was, forever. Hua Xiqian's, her life of a lifetime. Ah! Mo Shui screamed in pain. Her bodyguards and manager were so scared that they rushed in, thinking that she was in danger. Shui, are you okay? What happened? Her manager asked as she hugged her. Get out, all of you, get out, get out. Mo Shui was very emotional. Hua Xiqian walked out of Southside Recuperation Center and got into his Mercedes-Benz. Hua Xiqian lit a cigarette and looked at the brightly lit Southside Recuperation Center. If only Mian worked overtime here, I could bring her dinner or something. He smiled as he talked to himself. Hua Xiqian suddenly came to visit Mo Shui and gave her flowers. This made her even more terrified. She knew that she was done for. Hua Xiqian wouldn't let her go. Mo Shui didn't sleep that night and was very emotional. The next morning, when Huamin arrived, the assistant nurse said, "Chief Hua, Mo Shui is very emotional. She kept asking to see you." Huamin was slightly surprised. He put on his white coat and glasses and walked towards Mo Shui's room. Chapter 21:12. Inside Mo Shui's room, Huamin saw her. Truth be told, Mo Shui had been staying at Southside for a few days now. Occasionally, he would see her walking around the hospital. She looked energetic every day and was even in the mood to sign autographs for the nurses and doctors. However, after only one night, Mo Shui looked like neither a human nor a ghost. When Huamin walked in, Mo Shui was sitting barefoot on the bay window, smoking. Her hair was messy and she looked very haggard. Huamin walked over, snatched her cigarette, threw it on the ground, and stomped it out. "This is a hospital, smoking is prohibited. Please be responsible for your own health and that of others," Huamin said in a serious tone. Mo Shui tilted her head and glanced at Huamin. Her voice was very hoarse. "I'm done for, I'm so dead, what's wrong? What happened?" Huamin frowned slightly. "Hua Xiqian came last night, and then?" Huamin continued to ask. Mo Shui briefly told Huamin what happened. Then, she smiled bitterly. "It's so unusual for him to be so gentle to me. I knew it was a sign of death. I'm done for, Hua Xiqian won't let me go. I warned you from the beginning, but you still did it." Huamin looked at her calmly. "No, we can't turn back now. Huamin, let's work together. He's our common enemy. Think about how he framed you. Think about how he almost killed your husband. Think about how he tried to kidnap you when you were pregnant. He's a demon. If he's alive, we won't have a good life. Hua Xiqian is my enemy as well, but I won't work with you, Hua Min said calmly. That's ridiculous, we're not colluding with each other, we're working together. You know, without me, you won't be able to deal with him. All I have to do is testify that he wasn't by my side the night Song Yishur died. I'll lie to you, and then you'll be able to get rid of Wang Shasha. I'm sure Wang Shasha is dead. Even though we haven't found her body yet, Hua Xiqian must have done it. There's bound to be flaws in all of this. We have to work together to kill him, or else we're doomed. Not us, you're done for. Hua Min said calmly. Do you think Hua Xiqian will let you go? You're not wrong, he's not in danger. But what about your husband and daughter's daughters? Mo Shui tried to provoke Hua Min. Hua Xiqian won't do anything to them, right? I'll protect my husband and my daughter, but I won't do anything rash. The grudge between you and Hua Xiqian is between the two of you. You're a patient right now, so if you want to discuss a patient's condition with me, I'm willing to participate, but if it's a personal grudge, I'm sorry, but I won't be joining you. After he spoke, Hua Min turned around and left. No matter what Mo Shui said, Hua Min wouldn't believe her. She was too calculative. 1 second she said she was willing to work with Hua Min, but the next second, she would betray him. Hua Min's rejection and departure drove Mo Shui into a frenzy once again. She couldn't even sleep, so she took pills by the bucket. Then, at noon, she begged to be discharged. Apparently, Mr. Xiang sent someone to pick her up. At noon, Hua Min took some time out to upload the information that he had prepared beforehand onto the internet. This immediately caused a huge uproar. It turned out that Hua Min released the recording of his conversation with Yingzi yesterday to let everyone know that Yingzi was the mastermind behind all of this. After the recording was released, Yingzi's Weibo immediately fell into a frenzy. Hundreds of thousands of netizens attacked and cursed at her. Everyone at Yingzi's studio panicked. Sister Yingzi, what do we do now? Her assistant asked anxiously. Chapter 21:13. Hua Min, that bastard, how dare he set me up? Yingzi would never have dreamed that Hua Min would record their conversation. She was sure that Hua Min doted on his brother, Ni Yang, and would give her 100 million yuan. After all, 100 million yuan was a drop in the ocean for someone like Hua Min. Many rich people like to use money to buy peace of mind. Who would have thought that Hua Min would be so ruthless? Yingzi was about to explode from anger. After Yingzi logged on to Weibo, she posted a statement. In light of the audio posted on a forum today, I would like to personally respond. That voice is not mine, it was obviously edited. Although Ni Yang and I are no longer working together, would never do anything to hurt him. Please don't believe in false rumors, reject online violence, and clear my name. Thank you, everyone. As for the false audio posted by someone to frame me, I have already contacted a lawyer and am about to send a lawyer's letter. After Yingzi posted on Weibo, the comments below were very controversial. Sister Yingzi, you have always been Ni Yang Appa's savior. Please don't do this to yourself, we fans will be disappointed. The audio was posted by GK's President Hua. He's such a big shot, why would he frame you? If you don't want people to know, then don't do it. Woman, why don't you just admit it? Let's wait for the truth. If you really framed Ni Yang, then you really are a bitch. 100 million yuan isn't a small amount. Are you going to bury yourself with Tang Dynasty pottery with that much money? Thank you for promoting Ni Yang all those years ago. Now that we're on different paths, please don't slander him. We've all seen how hard he's worked over the years. Thank you. Let's wait for the war. It's going to be exciting. Ni Yang Appa isn't here anymore. He's probably out of the country, right? If you really did it, he'll be so sad. Sister Yingzi, I support you. You're definitely not that kind of person. Hua Min was probably instigated by someone this time. Yingzi insisted that the audio had been edited and photoshopped, and that it was not her voice. Therefore, the netizens were skeptical. After lunch, Huamin returned home. Suyu happened to call him. The netizens are just as you expected. The woman denied it is making it worse. When are you going to release the other video? There's no rush. Let's let it go. When things get too big, I'll pop it. Hua was very calm. Dr. Hua, you're so smart. Why don't you quit being a doctor and join Imperial Star's PR team? You can help us come up with strategies. That's boring. Compared to the infighting in the entertainment industry, I prefer doing meaningful things. I'm proud of helping patients recover. Don't take that away from me. Huamin chuckled. You make yourself sound so great. Now I want to go into the medical industry too. Should I sell Imperial Star tomorrow and open a hospital or something? You're rich, aren't you? Why open a hospital? Just focus on being President Su. After you release the other video tonight, send it to me on WeChat. I'll take care of the rest. Okay. Huamin nodded and hung up. Just then, Ni Yang sent Huamin a voice message. Sis, we're in Bali. The air is great. You should come and relax when you're free. Yeah, I like islands too. After we deal with the things before the new year, it's time for the four of us to go on a vacation. Sis, I saw the news. That audio, is it real? Did Sister Ingzi really do this? Did she blackmail you for 100 million? Ni Yang's voice trembled. Chapter 21:14. I'll take care of this. You and Jia can go on vacation without worry. Huamin didn't answer the question directly. Instead, he changed the topic and talked about the vacation. Sister Mian, I want to know the truth. I'm not a kid anymore. Don't hide it from me. I can take it. Ni Yang wouldn't give up until all hope was gone. He kept asking for the truth. After hesitating for a while, Huamin nodded. She did it. But why would she do that? When she terminated my contract, I already took a sum of money from her. It's been so long, and now she's suddenly exposing me and slandering me. I don't understand why Sister Ingzi would do that. She's not that kind of person. Ni Yang's tone was filled with indescribable sadness and disappointment. In his heart, Sister Ingzi was no longer his agent. She was still his benefactor, his talent scout, and he was indebted to her. She's always been that kind of person. You just didn't touch her interests before. Now that her own studio isn't doing well, she naturally thought of another way out. And that way is you, so she just wants money, right? Ni Yang asked. Yes, and she's asking for 100 million yuan. What did President Su say about this? Ni Yang asked. With Su Yu's temper, there's no way he'd give her 100 million yuan. He wouldn't even give her a dime. The way she's doing things has ruined her character and her reputation. Su Yu's actions have always been swift and decisive. If I don't intervene, Su Yu will directly find someone to blacklist her. She won't be able to stay in this city or in the entertainment industry. Then, she'll end up worse than she is now. Huamin calmly analyzed. Ni Yang didn't say anything. Little Yang, are you soft-hearted? Huamin asked tentatively when he heard Ni Yang's silence. From the moment she ruthlessly exposed my past, I no longer have the concept of being soft-hearted towards her. Sister, I'll leave this matter to you. I believe you'll handle it well. Thank you for your hard work. When Jia and I go back this time, we plan to directly register our marriage. So soon? Huamin was a little surprised. Strike while the iron is hot. It's rare to go on a vacation with her. It's such a beautiful day, so I think the probability of my proposal succeeding is very high. After all, little Jia is such a twisted person. Heh. Ni Yang chuckled. As long as you're happy, I'll always support your decision. Then, if you want to get married, I'll open the way for you and escort you. I'll pay for your wedding. Don't fight with me. Ha, sis, shouldn't President Su pay for the banquet? Should we scam him? Ni Young smiled brightly. No, I'll pay for the banquet. You should ask President Su to give you a big present. If he wants to scam you, please scam him. Hua Min joked. Ni Young laughed heartily on the other side. Sis, it's so good to have you. You're Ni Yang's only sister in my life. When you appeared in my life 4 years ago, it was like a ray of sunshine entering my life. I knew that my world would never be the same again. I even feel like I'm a completely different person from before. If Sister Ingzi gave me a chance to become famous, then you're the one who lit up my life with hope, Ni Yang confessed with deep emotion. Hey, you're so mushy, Jia will be jealous if she hears this. You're just an older sister, why are you confessing like you're a lover? Hua Min laughed. Chapter 21:15. Pfft. Jia wouldn't be jealous. You're the person she admires the most. I'm so famous, but she doesn't worship me. You're her life goal. If you hadn't given Ken a chance at the hospital, Jia wouldn't have stayed at Southside to be your assistant. She's just a girl from the countryside. She has no money, power, or connections. She wouldn't have known me. So, you're our savior. Okay, don't be so sentimental. We've known each other for so many years, it's too polite to say these things. You two just need to be happy. I'll take care of things here. When you come back, everything will be over. Okay, thank you, sis. Prepare a big red envelope, I'll announce our marriage when I get back. Ni Young seemed to be in a good mood during this vacation. It seemed like giving him and Chinjia a vacation was the right decision. No problem, sis, you have a big business now and don't need money. After hanging up the phone, Hua Mian returned to her busy work. When she got off work, she called the company and found that Qin Chu was still working overtime. So, this time, it was her turn to pick up Qin Chu. Everyone at GK was in awe of Hua Min. Hello, President Hua. Good evening, President Hua. Along the way, all the employees greeted Hua Min, as if they were very close to her. Hua Min nodded and smiled. Outside the president's office, Qin Chu's serious and heavy voice sounded. It seemed like he was lecturing his subordinates. Hua Min opened the door and peeked in. Sure enough, 5 senior executives were being lectured. What's going on? Is Mr. Qin mad? Hua Min asked Assistant Yang in a low voice. President Hua, you came at the right time, please save us. The construction of the building in Lingnan has been seriously delayed. We can't hand in the building on time, and the owners are making a big fuss. Today, the news media came to the president for an interview and said that he was very angry. After investigating layer by layer, they found that every department was negligent in their duties. In the end, President Qin was furious. Lingnan? That shouldn't be the case. Shouldn't they have handed in the apartments a long time ago? Hua Min remembered that this project was developed when she was still here. Half a year ago, when she went to Lingnan to investigate, everything was fine. Don't mention it. The person in charge of Lingnan lost a lot of money in Macau's casinos, so he used his power and reputation to ask us for money. Because we've worked with him several times, we've approved it. Although the amount wasn't a lot, the problem is that guy who took the money and gambled the money, and then borrowed money from the people. Lingnan's bank's ants, private. Lingnan's bank, and the private loan companies and our company. The Lingnan's bank and Lingnan's bank and the private bank. And the bank, ins, the bank and Lingnan's T, and the T. SS, this, and Lingnan's, and Lingnan, STT, Tes Lingnan Tes, STT. TSSS to TS, T8 Lingnan, ST. What's the progress now? Hua Mian asked worriedly. It's the last step, the window and door. Once they're done, we can hand in the apartments, I see. Okay, I understand. Huamin nodded. She had a rough idea. When Huamin pushed the door open, Qin Chu immediately shot her a murderous look. When he saw Huamin, he instantly switched to his gentle mode. Honey, you're off work? Chapter 21:16. Enrich, it's rare for me to get off work so early today. I want to go to Shu Xiang restaurant for spicy hot pot. Huamin smiled. President Hua, nice to meet you. President Hua, when the 5 executives saw Huamin, it was as if they saw their savior. They wanted to set off firecrackers to celebrate. I still have some things to take care of. Qin Chu replied. But I'm hungry. Huamin bit her lip and began to act coquettishly. As expected, as soon as she said that, Qin Chu couldn't resist. He looked down at his watch and then looked up at his 5 subordinates. We'll talk about this tomorrow morning. You guys can leave now. Yes, President Qin. After they left, Qin Chu immediately got up and put on his jacket. Then, he put his arm around Huamin's shoulder. Let's go eat hot pot. Enrich. Huamin didn't forget to say something to the secretary before they left the president's office. Everyone, let's get off work. These people were completely in awe of Huamin. Although President Qin was scary when he was angry, as long as Huamin was willing to come, then, nothing would be a problem. Inside a private room on the top floor of Shu Xiang restaurant, the couple was eating spicy hot pot with gusto. It's too spicy, don't eat too much, and don't eat in such a hurry, Qin Chu kept reminding Huamin. It's so good. I've been eating it recently. Why would I care so much? Huamin stuck out her tongue. Honey, why did you get off work so early today? Did Xiao Yang call you for help? No, definitely not. I just finished work today and don't have anything to do tonight, so I thought I'd come and have dinner with you. Enrich, how's Ni Yang's situation? I've been busy today and didn't see the news. Qin Chu added a mouthful of beef into the hot pot and chatted with Huamin. It's not a big deal. I'll take care of it, Huamin said confidently. That's good. Qin Chu nodded and then picked up some food for Huamin. Hubby, I talked to Xiao Yang at the entrance of the Lingnan building today. What do you plan to do? I don't have a good solution in this situation. I plan to pay for the door and window with my own money. Then, I'll be able to hand over the house on time. As for the bank and private credit, I don't care. After all, it involves too much. The doors and windows are not a small sum either. We have already paid for them previously. If we pay for them again, it will be the same as taking the money twice, right? Yes, that's right. Qin Chu nodded. Then we won't be able to make much money from this property, and we might not be able to do it in Lingnan market. After all, our reputation will be very bad after this incident, that's right. That's why I'm so angry. This project was started 2 years ago, and you personally approved it. It was supposed to be a good thing, but now it's messed up. I'm really upset. Qin Chu sighed slightly. But I have an idea. Maybe we can fix this? Huamin smiled at Qin Chu. What idea? Qin Chu looked up at her. Kiss me first, and I'll tell you. Huamin said playfully. Qin Chu was in a good mood. He walked over, picked up Huamin, and kissed her cherry-like lips. Originally, she asked for a kiss, but Mr. Qin didn't let go. When the waitress came to add soup to the hot pot, she was shocked when she pushed the door open. Hubby. I don't think it's a good idea to do this. After kissing for a long time, Huamin was almost out of breath. Then, she slowly pushed Qin Chu away. It's rare for you to ask, so I have to satisfy you, Huamin was speechless. What? You're not satisfied? Qin Chu teased. No, I'm very satisfied, haha. Huamin immediately waved her hand. She really had to hand it to Mr. Qin. So, honey, can you tell your husband your plan now? Qin Chu licked his lips seductively and smiled at Huamin. Chapter 21:17. My idea is that we don't have to use our own money to install the doors and windows. Qin Chu was speechless. Honey, stop messing around. If we don't install the doors and windows, are you going to let the owners live in the open air? Qin Chu laughed as he ate his hot pot. Let me finish. What I mean is that we don't install the doors and windows, but we can lower the price and sell them at a price that's close to the people. We can sell the Lingnan real estate as a low-priced real estate, and the owners can choose to install the doors and windows based on their financial situation. That way, everyone will think that the price is cheap, and they won't care about the doors and windows. We won't be affected by negative news, and we'll have a good reputation in Lingnan. Huamin slowly explained his idea. Qin Chu listened carefully and nodded. I understand what you mean. We'll lose money by lowering the price and installing the doors and windows ourselves, but the effect will be different. The former gives people the impression that the price is close to the people, and if the average price is surprisingly low, people won't care about the doors and windows. For example, the average price before was 8,000 yuan, but now it's 6,000 yuan. From a visual point of view, we'll save a lot of money. If we install the doors and windows ourselves, and the price is still the same, sales won't be ideal, and we won't have a market in Lingnan. It'll be even harder to continue doing business in the future. That's right, that's what we're talking about. Huamin nodded repeatedly. Qin Chu looked at him with admiration. Dr. Hua, you're so smart that it's scary. Of course not. It's just a small matter. I'm not saving money for the company, and we won't make any money by selling it at a low price, but we'll have a good reputation. Qin Chu added. That's why I think it'll work. It'll work, let's do it. Oh, what should we do? My wife is a doctor, and she can still manage the company. Why do I look like a hero who can't do anything? Qin Chu teased on purpose. The harem can't interfere in politics. I won't say that again. Huamin laughed. Don't. If you want, I can give you the entire country. As long as I have it, as long as you want it, I'll give it to you. Mr. Qin's unintentional confession made Huamin's heart sweet. The couple had a great time eating the spicy hot pot. By the time they drove home, it was already 9:30 p.m. Little Bean and Pudding were watching TV with Qin Ning. Huamin glanced at it. It was a popular variety show. Speaking of which, Little Bean and Pudding had stopped watching cartoons a long time ago. What Boisterous Bears, what Happy Yang Yang, what Peppa Pig, none of them were her cup of tea. Babies, you haven't slept yet? Qin Chu walked over and sat between his two daughters. What did you have for dinner? Huamin took off his jacket and walked over to ask. However, the twins pretended not to hear him and continued watching TV. Sis, look at how good Big Brother Lu is. I'm his biggest fan. I can talk to Handsome Sue and ask him to sign Big Brother Lu to Imperial Star. That way, when I grow up, I can be his wife. Little Bean said as she chewed gum. Then you'll be at a disadvantage. Brother Xiaolu is already in his 20s. By the time you grow up, he'll be in his 40s. He'll be a middle-aged uncle. How can you marry him then? Pudding calmly analyzed. Hey, come on. You two love-struck idiots, can you not talk about who you want to marry? It's not something you should be thinking about. After all, your auntie isn't married yet, Qin Ning protested. What's going on? Are they ignoring us? Huamin realized that his daughters were ignoring him and Mr. Qin. Chapter 21:18. So, Pudding and Little Bean are mad at us? Qin Chu asked with a chuckle. Oh, so someone and someone still remember that they have a daughter. I thought they forgot. They go out to spend time with the two of them every day. It's so sweet. They eat hot pot and ramen. I can't live like this anymore. We're like abandoned babies. So pitiful. Little Bean whined. You're right. Someone and someone aren't like parents at all. They flirt with each other every minute and act like they're teenagers. Even if you two knew each other in high school, you can't be so crazy. Not only did you not bring us to eat good food, but you also came back so late and ignored us. Humph. Pudding also protested. Chin Chu, Huamin, big brother, sis-in-law, I didn't teach them that. Ha, you know how smart they are. Qin Ning quickly explained. So, you two brats are jealous? Huamin couldn't help but laugh. So, Daddy and Mommy really did something wrong, right? Did they hurt the baby's feelings? Mr. Qin admitted his mistake without any shame. What do you think? Little Bean glanced at her daddy and pouted. If things keep going like this, we'll have a younger brother or sister soon. Then, our status will be. Sigh, let's not talk about it. It's going to make me cry. Little Bean, let's go to bed. Why don't we talk to handsome Sue tomorrow and ask him to take us away? We can be adopted by the Sue family. Lord Sue, Grandma Sue, and great-grandpa all like us so much, good idea. Sis, I'm with you this time. The two sisters chimed in and then turned to go upstairs. Chin Chu and Huamin were left in a mess, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. Mr. Qin, look at your good daughter. She's betraying us? Huamin curled up in Chin Chu's arms and whined. It's okay, they're just saying. I have a way to deal with them. Mr. Qin was full of confidence. For example? Huamin raised an eyebrow and asked. For example, I can freeze Pudding's bank account. She won't be able to move a single cent, huh? Good idea. Huamin smiled proudly. Qin Ning looked at her brother and sister-in-law with disdain. The four of you are the worst in the world. You're as evil as you can get. You're so scary. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I'm going upstairs to sleep. Huamin knew that the two were being coquettish, so he didn't take it to heart. He went upstairs directly to shower and changed his clothes. Mr. Qin, on the other hand, couldn't sit still. Even though he knew that the twins were deliberately provoking him, he still went to appease them. After Huamian, Pudding, and Qin. As expected, the incident during the day continued to spread. Ingzi kept denying it and even threatened to sue Huamian for slander. Ni Yang's Weibo, Ingzi's, Huamin's, and Su Yu's Weibo were all flooded with comments. Huamin opened her Weibo and saw countless private messages and messages tagging her. Most of them were related to Ni Yang. They wanted her to show evidence and not accuse Ingzi. There were also Ingzi's fans, haters, and paid posters that purposely provoked Huamin. Huamin, if you want to accuse her, show evidence. You can't bully a small studio just because you're the president and a famous doctor. How shameless is that? Huamin, are you and Ni Yang in a relationship? Why are you helping him? Goddess Hua, come out and say something. What's going on? Who should we believe about Ni Yang Appa? Huamin glanced at the comments and looked at the time on his phone. It was 10:50 p.m. The time was just right. Huamin took out another video and uploaded it onto the internet. Like a bomb, it shocked the netizens. Chapter 21:19. The video that Huamin uploaded was the one that only had audio and no video. Now that the video was replayed, it was like a slap to Ingzi's face. Huamin then reposted his video and wrote, I didn't post the video directly because I wanted to see if Ingzi regretted what she did. After all, Ni Yang was with her for so long, and it's a good thing that they couldn't do business with each other. Now, it seems like I worried too much. Not only did she not regret what she did, but she even went from bad to worse. She denied everything she did and even said that I was slandering her. I asked professionals to analyze this video to see if there were any traces of Photoshop. Of course, some people with ulterior motives might say that I'm despicable for taking photos in secret. However, if she didn't ask for 100 million yuan from me and say things that hurt Ni Yang's feelings, what's the point of me taking photos in secret? So, God is watching. Those who are unjust are doomed to destruction. Didn't someone say that she wanted to go to court with me? She said that I'm slandering her. Very well, even if you don't come to me, I'll come to you. Because, she asked for 100 million yuan. Is this considered blackmail? Ha. After Huamian posted this, she received countless reposts, comments, and likes in a short amount of time. Huamin's true fans were so excited and happy. Goddess Hua, I love you. I'll give you 32 likes. I knew you had a trump card. Well done. Sister Mian, thank you for everything you've done for Ni Yang. Time reveals a person's heart. We know who's sincere to Ni Yang and who's just pretending. Some people only treat him like a cash cow. Disgusting. Let's see what that bitch Ingzi has to say now. My Mian's IQ. TSK. She's so smart. Awesome. Dr. Hua, didn't they say that after giving birth, you'll be dumb for 3 years? Ha. Why are you still so smart? Huamin couldn't help but laugh when he saw this comment. He even replied, my babies are 3 years old now, so I'm past the stage of being dumb. This funny reply made Huamin gain a lot of fans. After watching the video, as an IT expert, I can responsibly tell you that this video is real. There are no traces of Photoshop. I'm waiting for a certain bitch to cry and beg for mercy, 10 minutes after Huamin posted on Weibo, so you coolly reposted it without saying anything. It was just a casual turn, but it represented Imperial Star's attitude. Imperial Star's official website and Ni Yang's manager began to repost the post. Then, all the artists under Imperial Star followed suit. Ni Yang's friends in the circle, including Jiang Xiaowei and Tang Chuan, also began to repost the post. The most awesome person was still Gao Ran. Gao Ran's Weibo verified that he was the director of the Public Security Bureau in C City. His casual repost was especially persuasive and popular. Wow, it's been a long time since we last saw Chief Gao. Goddess Hua is amazing. Waiting for that bitching to die. Half an hour later, a well-known media outlet began to release a piece of explosive news. Many artists in the circle collectively revealed that they had been cheated of a lot of money by Ingzi's studio. Then, they were threatened and intimidated. Because they were B-list or even C-list artists, they didn't dare to say anything. Now, they were being pushed down by everyone. Many small-time artists in the circle posted on Weibo about their feud with Ingzi's studio. A few female models even said that after they signed the contract, they were forced to drink and sleep with Ingzi. Instantly, thousands of waves were stirred up. 40 minutes later, Ni Yang personally logged onto Weibo and reposted Huamin's post. Then, he wrote a very meaningful sentence. Chapter 21:20. Ni Yang said, do you know that you can't stay in this body for long? Why are you in such a hurry to do evil things? But I know that my previous life was destined. I just want to be a good person and stay pure. The picture below was a picture of a little monk practicing cultivation. These words, which were full of Zen Buddhism, immediately won a lot of praise. In the eyes of the fans, the dirty secrets and the past that Ingzi had exposed only made them feel even more sorry for their idol. No one could choose their birth, but their future path and what kind of person they would be were their own choices. Ni Yang personally reposted and wrote this paragraph, which immediately won the support of his fans. No amount of internet trolls could buy the hearts of people. Public opinion was one-sided. Ni Yang Appa, we will always support you. Love you, keep it up, you're awesome. Good and evil will be rewarded in the end. I believe that God will not mistreat kind people. Let's be good people with a clear conscience. Ni Yang Appa, President Su and Sister Hua did a great job this time. What they did was a slap in the face for that bitch. I didn't expect Ingzi to be such a person. She's such a scumbag. I'm so angry. Ni Yang, no matter who you choose to be with, it's your choice. We will always protect you. Little Sun will always be by your side. After the Weibo War, Ingzi did not make any more statements because there was so much evidence and so many big shots were criticizing her. No matter how much she explained, it seemed so weak and unnecessary. Ni Yang's response won a lot of praise, and Huamin's evidence was even more direct. Sister Ingzi, what should we do now? All the staff in the studio were panicking. No, I have to go out and hide. This matter has become like this. I'm afraid that Ni Yang's diehard fans will do something bad to me. Ingzi was someone who had seen a lot in her life, but at this moment, she was still afraid. She hurriedly left the studio and drove straight home. She immediately packed her luggage and prepared to go abroad to lie low. But before she could walk out of the neighborhood, she was surrounded by the police at the door. Ms. Lu Minjiang, right? I am. We are police officers from the city sub-bureau. We just received a report that you are extorting money. Of course, words are not proof. We will further collect evidence. However, during this period of time, in order to cooperate with our investigation, you cannot leave the city. I have something urgent to do. I have to go out for a while. It's not like I'm running away. Ingzi's face was pale. Come with us. If you're innocent, I believe the law will give you justice. In this way, Ingzi was invited to the police station for tea and did not leave the city successfully. The next day, the headlines of all the major media outlets were, Ni Yang's ex-manager dug a pit and tried to extort a sky-high price. President Su of Imperial Star Entertainment goes to court. Su Yu finally showed his strong attitude, and the dispute between him and Ingzi also officially surfaced. At this time, no one cared about Ni Yang's relationship or his past. They only cared about this lawsuit and whether Ingzi, who had done all kinds of evil and bullied so many small celebrities, would be severely punished. After the morning meeting, Huamin returned to his office and saw a WeChat message from Su Yu. Dr. Hua, thank you for the final blow yesterday. You won beautifully. President Su, you're too kind. You cooperated well too. Those celebrities reposted it and helped a lot. In this industry, celebrities are still very influential. Thank you for your employees. This time, everyone did a good job. That's why we were able to maximize the effect. Chapter 21-21. Don't thank me, we didn't wrongly accuse that bitch. She deserved it. I asked my legal team, and they said that after the verdict, without me, she won't be able to get out of jail for at least 8 to 10 years because of the huge amount of money she extorted. Plus, Ingzi has other things to do. You know that organizing those models to do sex work is a big crime. Our country is cracking down on prostitution and gangs. She got herself into trouble this time, so you said with a proud smile. Those who are unjust are doomed to destruction. If you do too many bad things, the heavens will punish you. There's nothing strange about it. Sometimes I think about how she treated Ni Yang, and I'm really disappointed in her. Hua Min sighed. Dr. Hua, not everyone is as kind as you, or else the world would be at peace a long time ago. I'm not kind either, I have my own agenda. Otherwise, I wouldn't have dealt with so many bitches. Hua Min's words were filled with emotions. She had torn apart so many bitches along the way. She was truly tired. From the very beginning, Jiang Linyue, Song Yisher, Zhao Qingya, and Jian Tong, to Mo Shui, Wang Shasha, and even Yan Ruoshi, women related to Qin Chu, Su Yu, and even Hua Xiqian. Every single one of them saw her as a fierce tiger. Sometimes, Hua Min didn't want to cause trouble, but she couldn't avoid it. In the end, she fought back fiercely, but in the end, it only showed how vicious she was. Sometimes, life could be summed up with one word, and that was, haha. Come on, don't be modest with me. You helped me so much this time, so I'll treat you to dinner. But don't get me wrong, it's not just one of us, I'll treat all four of you to dinner, Suyu emphasized. It's fine, what's there to treat? We're all so close. Plus, Ni Young is my little brother, so it's only right that I do something for him. It's enough that we can work together to deal with Ingzi. It's really not necessary, Huamin refused naturally. You're really not eating? Okay, I'm not eating anymore. Okay, then I'll save money. Suyu deliberately joked. Let's go to your old house for a meal some other day. Just prepare more seafood for me then. No problem. My mom has been talking about you for the past few days. She said that she misses you. Suyu smiled. Then I'll visit Auntie Sue when I'm free these few days. Okay, call me before you come. All right. I'm hanging up then. Take care of your body when you're working. Don't become a workaholic. You're a mother after all. Take care of your body, okay? Suyu nagged. Got it, President Su. Yes, sir. Huamin smiled. Then, he hung up. Since the twins complained that their parents always went out to spend time with just the two of them, Qin Chu and Huamin were much quieter this week. After work, the two of them immediately rushed back home. The food prepared by Uncle Li was always so appetizing and healthy. The whole family gathered together in the cold winter to eat hot pot and chat. It could be said that they had a great time. They also gossiped a little. Ning Ning, are you going back? Huamin overheard Pudding say that Qin Ning had already booked a flight back to the States, so he asked. Yeah, if I don't go back, my dad will go crazy. Qin Ning laughed. Ning Ning, don't go. Stay here for a while, or, you can stay for the new year. During the new year, your uncle and auntie will come back. You and your uncle will be together too. Then our family will be complete. Huamin was reluctant to leave. Chapter 21-22. How can we do that? There's still a long way to go before Chinese New Year. You don't know that foreigners don't celebrate Chinese New Year, they only celebrate Christmas. So, during Chinese New Year, my dad's really busy. If we both come back, GK's headquarters will go crazy unless my brother goes to take over for us, haha. Qin Ning teased Huamin. Huamin felt awkward. What? You don't want to leave your husband, right? Qin Ning continued to tease her sister-in-law. Auntie, don't bully my mommy. You know she's an honest person, so you're bullying her. You're shameless, Little Bean protested. Hey, little brat, what's wrong with you and your auntie? Sure, but compared to mommy, I can let it go for now. Little Bean answered matter-of-factly. Auntie, you're making me sad. Give me back my dollars. Qin Ning reached out her hand. Dollars? My sister and I bought Handsome Sue a Versace belt. Why don't you ask Handsome Sue for it? Or you can just take Handsome Sue's belt off. It's simpler and more violent. Everyone in the family was used to Little Bean's dirty ways. Qin Ning's face immediately turned red. Wow, you're blushing. Are you interested in Handsome Sue? Little Bean continued to interrogate. Little Bean, don't say that to your auntie. You should say that you really want to take Handsome Sue's belt off. Little Bean added. Pfft. Big brother, you have to control your two dirty kids, Qin Ning scolded. My daughters are different from the rest. Mr. Qin wasn't ashamed. Instead, he was proud. Qin Ning, Huamin, honey, you're right. Are the four of you going to heaven? You're bullying an outsider like me. Let me go cry for a while. Qin Ning didn't know if she was really shy, but she blushed and ran upstairs with her hands covering her face. The twins calmly continued to eat. Luckily, Yang Meirong had already gone upstairs to make the bed and Jixin hadn't returned from dinner with his colleagues. Otherwise, Qin Ning would have been so embarrassed. Pudding, how's your stock trading going? Qin Chu asked his daughter. Not bad. Not bad. It seems that the income is also not bad. Qin Chu raised his eyebrows and looked at his eldest daughter with amusement. Daddy, Big Sis said it's not bad. That means she made at least $1 million this week. Otherwise, she wouldn't say it's not bad, Little Bean analyzed. So godly. Are there any stocks with large fluctuations recently? Qin Chu continued to ask. There is. Which one? Qin Chu was curious. Huamin also listened attentively, because Huamin and Qin Chu also had some private investments in the stock market. However, they didn't invest much. After all, they didn't make a fortune by speculating in stocks. Hua Corporation. Pudding ate the fish ball calmly. Pfft. Hua Corporation? Oh my god, which Hua family? Huamin was also stunned. Mommy, are you dizzy from eating hot pot? Which Hua Corporation are you talking about? How many Huas do we have here? Pudding looked at Huamin with a tired expression. So, it's Hua Xiqian's company? Huamin still couldn't believe it. Pudding nodded. Yeah. Didn't the Hua Corporation have some negative news recently? A lot of shareholders felt insecure and were afraid that they would lose, so they all sold their stocks at very low prices. I thought it was a good deal, so I hoarded some of them. Aren't you afraid that you'll lose? After all, the Hua Corporation's stock market has been declining recently. Qin Chu asked his daughter seriously. Chapter 21-23. The stock market has always been risky, so it's normal to be afraid of losing money. But if you don't even have the courage to lose money, how are you going to make money? I don't think any entrepreneur has ever had a smooth start, right? Even Grandpa and second Grandpa were in debt when they founded GK. You have guts, just like my daughter. Qin Chu really wanted to give his eldest daughter a thumbs up. What she said was no less than the words of those successful businessmen. It was like chicken soup for the soul. If she posted this on her WeChat friend circle, who knew how many WeChat merchants would be willing to share it? Pudding, but the Hua Corporation hasn't been doing very well lately. What if it can't make a comeback and all your investments go down the drain? I think it's very risky, don't you think? Huamin purposely gave his daughter a hard time. Mommy, don't try to scare me. I know what kind of person Hua Xiqian is. He's able to eliminate so many enemies and dominate the Hua Corporation for so long, so he's not an idiot. A woman like Immerse Shue's little tricks won't make him lose much. I invested in the Hua Corporation for the long term. 3 days ago, I saw on the financial news that Hua Xiqian received Mr. Bowl, the president of the largest energy company in South America. I'm sure Hua Xiqian didn't treat him to a meal just to be polite. I think they're going to collaborate on some projects. Once the news is released, the stock market will definitely recover. I'm not sure how much it'll be, but I'm sure it'll be easy for me to make 3 to 5 million yuan, and it'll be quick too. The Hua Corporation's stock price has dropped this week, and it's been dropping like crazy for a week. No one dares to buy it, so I'm sure it'll bounce back. Otherwise, even someone like Hua Xiqian would cry. Pudding said as she elegantly wiped her mouth with a tissue. Okay, let's not talk about the investment today. I'm going to watch the news. Mommy, Daddy, enjoy your meal. Sis, wait for me. Little Bean followed behind Pudding, trying to suck up to her. The two cute kids acted like adults. They went to the sofa in the living room and turned on the financial news with great interest. Huamin looked at Qin Chu in disbelief. Honey. I suspect that you gave birth to Neza. Qin Chu sighed with a serious expression. Cough cough cough. So you're the pagoda-bearing heavenly kingly? Huamin replied. Pudding's analysis of the stock market and the Hua Corporation's current situation was very accurate. Qin Chu had also studied it. He was also waiting to see if Hua Xiqian had any better moves. 3 days ago, he had paid attention to the dinner with Frank. Frank had come to the city because he had set his sights on a mining area. They tried to develop the mine together, but they couldn't reach an agreement with the local government. After all, resources like the mine were directly controlled by the country. Frank wasn't willing to leave empty-handed, so he chose a few well-known entrepreneurs to have a meal with. Chin Chu and Su Yu were also invited, however, they didn't go. After all, South America was too far away. It would take a long time to develop a client. It could be done in one meal, but Hua Xiqian still went. Although he kept a low profile, he was still photographed. Chin Chu guessed that he had reached an agreement with Frank. They just hadn't announced it to the public yet. Pudding was only 3 years old, but she liked to watch the financial news. She even knew how to analyze corporate trends. At this moment, Chin Chu was both proud and worried. He was proud that his daughter had such a brain for business at such a young age. She was able to devise strategies and control the situation. He was worried that his daughter was so smart and powerful. What kind of man would be good enough for her in the future? As a father, he was starting to worry for nothing. Honey, what do you think of Pudding's analysis? Right? At the dinner table, Hua Min asked her husband seriously. Chapter 21-24. It's very accurate, Chin Chu commented. Honey, I think your daughter is going to become a demon. Hua Min was speechless. No, she's not going to become a demon. She's already a demon, Chin Chu added. On the other side, the two kids on the sofa had a conversation. Little Bean, sis, you shouldn't be so high profile. Daddy and Mommy seem to be scared by you. Pudding, it's okay to show off my skills. Otherwise, they'll think I don't know anything. Little Bean, but will they interfere with your business? For example, they'll lend you the money you made from investments or something. Pudding, they won't. Daddy and Mommy don't lack money. Don't think too much. Little Bean, okay, then I'm relieved. But, sis, I saw some dried beef from the prairie on Taobao today. It tastes pretty good. There's also milk tea. I heard that babies who eat beef have better health and won't get sick. Pudding, so? Little Bean, so, sis, can you give me a box? It's almost New Year. I want to start stocking up on dry food. Pudding, I knew you had a favor to ask of me. Otherwise, you wouldn't be following me around like a dog. Little Bean, sis, you're actually the person closest to me. Daddy and Mommy will grow old and leave us first. When I get married in the future, my husband might cheat on me. So, you're the person closest to me. I'll love you for the rest of my life. Pudding, what do you want to eat? Put it in your shopping cart. I'll empty it for you later. Little Bean, thanks, sis. Love you. Mwah. Pudding, stop it, you foodie. Control your weight. Control your weight. Control your weight. Control your weight. Important things must be said 3 times. Little Bean, got it. I'll try to control myself. Haha. After Hua Min and Chin Chu went upstairs, they both went about their own business. Mr. Chin was a typical workaholic. After he went back to his bedroom, he would take out his laptop and go through all kinds of documents, reading the news, and keeping an eye on HQ. Hua Min was rarely relaxed. He put on his headphones and listened to music to relax. Suddenly, he received a WeChat message. Moreover, it was a new group created by Tang Chuan. Hua Min opened it and saw Hua Min, Su Yu, Wei Liao, Xiao Wei, Zhu Lingling, and even his sister-in-law, Qin Ning. Hey, good evening, everyone. Tang Chuan sent a magical voice message. Jiang Xiaowei, Master Tang, what is it? Tang Chuan, sister-in-law, you're too polite. Huh, just call me Chuan. Jiang Xiaowei, Io, you're so humble. You're in a good mood. Looks like you have something good to announce. Tang Chuan, ahem. It's my birthday next week. Wei Liao, so? Are you here to blackmail us? Tang Chuan, do I look like someone who would take advantage of others? Su Yu, Master Tang, how are you going to celebrate this year? Are you still going out on a cruise with a harem group like last year? Tang Chuan, don't talk nonsense. What harem group? Am I that kind of person? Wei Liao, you are. Jiang Xiaowei, you are. Su Yu, you are. Line up downstairs. Hua Min, you are. Zhu Lingling, you are. Tang Chuan, you bunch of crazy people. Qin Ning, what's going on? There are so many people. Qin Ning came out of the shower. As soon as she picked up her phone, she saw countless notifications. She was randomly added to a WeChat group and her sister-in-law was in it. Tang Chuan, Ning, you're here at the right time. It's my birthday next week and I'm having a party. You have to come. Hua Min, how dare you call her Ning? Are you two so close now? Chapter 21-25. I don't think we're that close, okay? Qin Ning was speechless. How could anyone call her Ning? It's okay, I'll cook it. Tang Chuan continued to be shameless. I think I can smell someone flirting. Wei Liao joked. Hey, you rich guys, uncles, aunties, please don't make fun of me, okay? I want to officially announce that it's my birthday next week. It's going to be a superstar party. I sincerely invite you all to come. Can you give me some face? What day next week? Hua Min was very sensitive to time. It'll start at 6 p.m. sharp at the end of next week. Wei Liao, that's a good weekend. Tang Chuan, of course, I was afraid you guys would find an excuse not to come. Luckily, my birthday is on the weekend. Su Yu, I'm going to Harbor City for business next weekend. Tang Chuan, don't even try, Lord Su. Even if you're going to the South Sea, you have to be there, Lord Su. Is this what you call forcing me to do? Tang Chuan, I can force you, but I can still force you. Don't try to cheat me. You have to give me a birthday present. Zhu Lingling, you're asking me for a present? Then I'm not going to play with you guys. You're all rich, but my family is a civil servant. We can't afford to play with you guys. Let's go. Tang Chuan, if you come, you can come empty-handed. I won't be picky. Zhu Lingling, that good? Tang Chuan, of course. After all, I'll need your help in many areas in the future. Haha. Zhu Lingling, I knew you didn't have good intentions. Jiang Xiaowei, can I bring Bao Bao? Tang Chuan, of course. But sis-in-law, are you sure you want to bring Yunchu? After all, the twins will be there too. Jiang Xiaowei, wow. The twins are coming too. If that's the case, I'll think about it. Hua Min, slightly, what do you mean? Are you discriminating against my twins? Zhu Lingling, we don't dare to discriminate against twins, but we have to think about our son's physical and mental health. After the last party, Wu Yuan came back and said a lot of golden sentences. I think he learned them from Little Bean. I don't know how dirty they are, but after he said that sentence, he was beaten up by Gao Ran. You guys can imagine. The twins are mighty and domineering. Su Yu couldn't help but laugh wildly. Hua Min, Tang Chuan, alright, let's stop arguing. The date has been decided. Is there any problem? Qin Ning, I have a question. Qin Chu weakly raised his hand to speak, which immediately attracted everyone's attention. Tang Chuan, Ning, if you have any problems or difficulties, tell me and I'll help you solve them. Wei Liao, big brother? Young Master Tang, you're so evil. Su Yu, he's always so shameless. Tang Chuan, go away, you guys can go now. I want to talk to Ning alone. Qin Ning, I'm sorry, I can't go next week. Tang Chuan, why? You're not giving me face? Qin Ning, it's not about face. I booked a ticket back to the States and the headquarters already arranged my schedule. I have to go back to help my dad. So, I'm sorry, but I can make up for the birthday present. Qin Ning didn't forget to add, do I look like someone who cares about birthday presents that much? Do you think I don't want something from you? Tang Chuan was a little displeased. Qin Ning suddenly felt awkward and didn't know how to explain. So, when is the ticket? Tang Chuan continued to ask, 10:30 on the weekend. Qin Ning said weakly. What the? Are you doing this on purpose? On the weekend? What a coincidence. Can't it be a day later? Tang Chuan was speechless. Chapter 21-26. I really didn't do it on purpose. I didn't know it was your birthday this weekend, so I just decided on a whim. Qin Ning explained. Then change it or cancel it. It doesn't matter if you wait a day or two, right? Tang Chuan patiently coaxed Qin Ning. I can't do that. I've already reported my schedule to HQ. I have to go to the company for a board meeting when I get back. It's the end of the year and there's a lot of work to do. Is it more important than my birthday? Tang Chuan didn't feel good about it. Qin Ning, okay, if that's the case, I won't give you a hard time. You can do whatever you want. After speaking, Tang Chuan went offline. No one dared to say anything as they watched the two of them chat awkwardly. It was a strange scene. Huamin placed his phone on the bedside table and sighed. What's wrong? Honey. Qin Chu saw that his wife was a little upset, so he immediately came over and put his arm around her shoulders. He put down his laptop and pulled himself away from his work. Honey. I feel like young Master Tang is going after Ning Ning? Yeah, and? Qin Chu raised his hand and rubbed her delicate cheek. Ning Ning didn't give him a chance. I don't know if it's just my imagination, but I feel like Ning Ning is interested in Su Yu. It's not your imagination. At first, Ning Ning was a little bit interested in Su Yu because of the two of them. But later, she thought it through. She told you, honey? Huamin looked up curiously. You could say that she had a heart-to-heart talk with him. To be honest, do you think Ning Ning and Su Yu are a good match? Qin Chu asked Huamin. Huamin hesitated for 3 seconds and said faintly, if they're a good match, they should be. Both of them are independent, outstanding, workaholics, and have good family backgrounds. Ning Ning grew up in the US and is very fashionable. She's also very competitive. There's no doubt about her charisma, but, Huamin paused. Continue. Qin Chu encouraged her. It's just that I don't think Su Yu will accept Ning Ning. He's a stubborn guy. You might be a little jealous if I say this. But I think Su Yu won't let go of me so easily. It takes time. It's still too early for him to let go. Maybe in a year or two, things will get better. But right now, I don't think Su Yu will agree. Huamin analyzed. Qin Chu nodded in agreement. You're right. I've thought about that too, which is why I'm advising Ning Ning to back off. Su Yu's feelings for you aren't that easy to let go of. Even if he doesn't say it out loud, it's hard for him to get over it. He's as stubborn as I am. If he could easily accept other women, he wouldn't be Su Yu. Ning Ning wouldn't even have a chance. There are so many actresses under Imperial Star and so many socialites in the city, but he doesn't even look at them. More importantly, if he gets together with Ning Ning, he'll have to face us a lot in the future. He'll have to call you his sister-in-law. Do you think that's possible? Huamin shook his head. So, instead of creating opportunities for Su Yu and Ning Ning, why don't we let her and Tang Chuan have a go? Qin Chu suggested. Young Master Tang is an okay person. He's not too bad, and I think he's quite capable. He's not as idle as he seems. He's still scheming, but don't you think he's too much of a playboy? Hua Min questioned. Chapter 21-27. Hua Min and Tang Chuan were familiar with each other, so Hua Min was always surrounded by beautiful women. Most women wouldn't be able to stand such a scene. Not to mention a girl like Qin Ning who had a strong personality. I investigated Tang Chuan, guess what I found? Qin Chu asked with a smile. What? The truth is, he used to be a very infatuated person, but he was hurt by a woman and became like this. So, what we see now is just the surface. Deep down, he should be a very infatuated person. Is that so? I've never heard Suyu talk about this before. Hua Min was surprised. Suyu wouldn't tell you about this kind of private thing. After all, men don't like to gossip as much as women do, you're right. Honey, hurry up and tell me. I'm interested in Tang Chuan. Hua Min leaned into Qin Chu's arms, seemingly very interested in Qin Chu's investigation of Tang Chuan. A few years ago, Tang Chuan had a good reputation in the industry. He met a girl who was a model. The girl wasn't particularly beautiful, but she had a good temperament. Tang Chuan spoiled her a lot and bought her everything. He even took her to many events in a high-profile manner. Even though his family objected, he still insisted, and then, that girl became his third aunt. Qin Chu said straightforwardly. Hua Min almost choked on his saliva, ahem. What? Third aunt? Hua Min was shocked. That girl was a high-class White Lotus. On the surface, she didn't care about fame or fortune, but in reality, she was more skillful than anyone else. She found out that Tang Chuan was a junior in the Tang family and didn't have much power or money, so she took the opportunity to seduce Tang Chuan's third uncle. How many years older are they? Hua Min was surprised. Yeah, his third uncle is 20 years older than Tang Chuan. What do you think? And then? Hua Min continued to be curious. Then, that girl successfully became a mistress. She made Tang Chuan's third uncle divorce and abandon his wife and daughter. Tang Chuan's third aunt left with their daughter and settled down in Canada. That girl married into the Tang family and even gave birth to his third uncle's son. What? That's so dramatic. It's even scarier than those TV shows. There are many stories like this. Hua Min's Qin Chu's, Hua Min, and Hua Min. Yes, he said, Hua S's, Tang's. Yeah, on the night of his third uncle's wedding, Tang Chuan tried to commit suicide by drinking poison. He was rescued in time and had his stomach pumped. After that, his third uncle was kicked out of the family and moved to another city. That girl left as well, so, Tang Chuan became like this after that, living a life of luxury and surrounded by beautiful women? Hua Min guessed. Qin Chu nodded. What a sad story. Hua Min suddenly lowered his head, feeling pity for Tang Chuan. It turned out that everyone had their own sad story behind them, so, from the looks of it, Tang Chuan isn't a playboy. In fact, he's very infatuated. It's just that he was hurt by someone before. If he really likes Ning, I think it's Ning's blessing. But, feelings can't be forced, both parties have to like each other. So, let's just leave it to fate. We don't have to worry about it. Qin Chu comforted Hua Min. Honey. I admire you so much. Hua Min snuggled into Qin Chu's arms and whined. Admire me for what? Qin Chu smiled. You know everything, you can see through everything. You can always look at other people's stories calmly. You're so cool, Qin Chu was speechless. Dr. Hua, your husband will be proud if you praise him like that. Qin Chu looked at Hua Min lovingly. Then be proud, we have the right to be. Hua Min said proudly. So, I can do whatever I want now? Qin Chu said as he reached his hand under Hua Min's bra. Chapter 21-28. Are you kidding me? Hua Min covered her face in embarrassment. She fell into his trap just like that. It was impossible to guard against it. The kid was already 3 years old, but he still had such strong desires. Was it a good idea? Hua Min didn't have time to think about this question until she was lying on the bed with weak legs. Mr. Qin rushed over like a tornado. She didn't even have time to think. Tang Chuan's birthday party was extravagant every year. Not only would there be a lot of upper-class young masters and socialites, but there would also be celebrities. Su Yu and Wei Liao would definitely be there. Hua Min would also be there when she was free. When she wasn't, she would prepare a gift for Tang Chuan. However, this year, Tang Chuan placed so much importance on it that she couldn't miss it. So, before going to bed, Hua Min discussed it with Qin Chu. Honey, let's go to Tang Chuan's birthday party next weekend. Next weekend? Yeah, he told us in the WeChat group today. It's quite formal. Okay, we can go together if we have nothing to do at work. Pudding and Little Bean have always gotten along well with him. We'll go as a family of 4. Yeah, I think he wanted to invite Ning Ning, but Ning Ning booked a return ticket. That's between them. We can't interfere. Qin Chu wouldn't interfere too much with Qin Ning's relationship. He would only give some pertinent advice. Time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, it was Saturday night. Qin Ning's flight was at 10 a.m. the next morning. Tang Chuan's birthday party started at 6 p.m. It was God's will. The night before, Qin Ning was busy unpacking her luggage. The twins were reluctant to leave. What? You two are so pitiful. Don't look at me like that. Qin Ning couldn't stand the pitiful looks on her nieces' faces. Auntie, can you not go? I'll miss you. Little Bean was always sweet and tried to persuade her to stay. Auntie, I just made a fortune in the stock market. Don't leave. I'll treat you to a big meal, a hot spring, and all kinds of fun, okay? Pudding was also generous. Your aunt is also a tycoon, okay? I'm the youngest director of GK headquarters, but I'm not as outstanding as your daddy, right? But I'm not a parasite. Why would I need you to treat me? Qin Ning said as she packed her luggage. I'm so sad. I don't want to leave you. Little Bean teared up and started using tear gas. Don't be like this. It's not like we won't see each other again. Auntie will come again. Qin Ning patted Little Bean's head to comfort her. Auntie Qin, you're a girl, don't put too much importance on your career. Actually, I think the most important thing for a girl is to marry a good husband, Pudding advised. I'm still young. I can still work hard for a few more years. I'm not in a hurry to get married. You two shouldn't have any ideas about me, okay? Why don't you two come with me? How about going to America to study? I'll take care of you. Qin Ning teased the twins. No way, we don't want to leave Daddy and Mommy. Little Bean refused immediately. In the end, the twins' reluctance didn't change Qin Ning's mind. After packing her luggage, Qin Ning video called her secretary at GK headquarters. Andy. My flight is tomorrow at 10 p.m. Pay attention to the flight time and come pick me up early. Okay, Miss Qin. Do you have any work plans? Qin Ning asked her secretary in perfect English. Chapter 21-29. Miss Qin, when you come back, you need to hold a year-end summary meeting. Then, there will be a new product launch for the next quarter. Also, the president wants you to handle some cooperation matters with North American clients. What about my dad? The president went to Dubai to discuss business with some clients in the Middle East. He'll probably be back in 3 days. Okay, I got it. That's all, see you later. After hanging up, Qin Ning picked up her phone and prepared to go downstairs. She wanted to talk to her brother and sister-in-law. After all, she was leaving tomorrow, unexpectedly, her phone rang with a video call. What? Qin Ning picked up and asked Tang Chuan in a bad mood. What are you doing? Nothing, I just finished packing my luggage. Packing your luggage? What's the rush? Yeah, I already planned my schedule. There's still a lot of things to do. Okay, if you want to leave, I can't stop you. But, since we're new friends, I want to treat you to dinner and send you back to the States. So, let's go out for dinner. Now? Qin Ning looked at her watch. It was already 8:30 p.m. It's not that late, it's only 8 p.m. It's not convenient, I have to go to bed early. I have a flight tomorrow. I'm sorry. Qin Ning directly refused. To be honest, she wasn't interested in a dinner arranged by Tang Chuan. You're not going to give me face? What did I do to offend you? No. Then, am I that annoying? It's not that annoying. Qin Ning said slowly. Not that annoying. This comment. It's really giving me a headache. Qin Ning, okay, that's all for now. Tang Chuan hung up. Qin Ning went downstairs to the living room. She sat down next to Huamin and began chatting with her brother and sister-in-law. On the other side, Tang Chuan got up and walked out of a private room in a clubhouse. Young Master Tang, where are you going? You just arrived and you're already leaving. A few rich kids behind him yelled. You guys have fun, I'm going to see a friend. Tang Chuan always had feelings for Qin Ning. She was different from all the other girls he knew. The more Qin Ning avoided him and rejected him, the more he wanted to get closer to her. After going downstairs, Tang Chuan drove his flashy red Ferrari straight to South Hill Manor. Then, a certain someone felt that it wasn't good to visit them empty-handed. When he passed by a fruit shop in the middle of the night, he bought 10 fruit baskets in one go. She also bought the twins 5 large durians, 2 boxes of Haagen-Dazs, and a black swan cake. Qin Ning, Qin Chu, and Huamin were downstairs drinking tea and chatting. She didn't even care when she heard someone ringing the doorbell. Did she think that someone from her family had returned? When the housekeeper opened the door, Tang Chuan panted and said, "Get a few people out. Come with me to get something." Only then did Huamin and Qin Chu see clearly that the person who came was Tang Chuan. What's the situation? Young Master Tang. Huamin stood up and walked over with a confused look on his face. Nothing much. I'm just here to visit your family and see my twin nieces. As Tang Chuan spoke, he ordered the housekeepers to bring the items in. When the items were placed on the floor, Huamin and Qin Chu glanced at them and were dumbfounded. There were 10 premium fruit baskets, 5 large durians, Haagen-Dazs ice cream, and a black swan cake. Are you crazy? Qin Ning was also speechless. These are for the twins, and I'm here for another reason. Tang Chuan got straight to the point. What is it? Huamin looked at him curiously. Chapter 21:30. I want to treat Ning Ning to dinner. After all, she's leaving tomorrow. Qin Ning, Young Master Tang, you're in such a good mood. You could have just called her and asked her out. It's too expensive for her to come to our house. Huamin couldn't help but laugh. I did call her and send her a WeChat message, but she doesn't want to go out. What can I do? I was forced to. Tang Chuan looked like he was wronged. At this moment, Qin Chu and Huamin both looked at Qin Ning. Ning Ning, since young Master Tang is so sincere, why don't you go out for dinner? Qin Chu suggested. Big brother. Qin Ning didn't get a chance to speak. Tang Chuan looked at Qin Chu excitedly and cupped his hands. Thank you, big brother. Who's your big brother? Don't be so shameless. Qin Ning rolled her eyes at him. Then let's go, Ning Ning. It's not too late anyway. Don't let young Master Tang come here for nothing. Min could tell that Qin Chu wanted to set Qin Ning and Tang Chuan up, so he spoke up for them. Then, I'll go upstairs and change. How can I go out like this? In the end, Qin Ning gave in and ran upstairs to change and put on makeup. Tang Chuan looked at Qin Ning and Mian gratefully. I'll treat you two to dinner one day. Hee hee. The twins somehow heard him and ran downstairs in their little nightgowns. They couldn't help but tease Tang Chuan a little. Whoa, who came to our house? Little Bean covered her mouth and giggled. Uncle Tang, you're so rich. Why did you come to my house empty-handed? Pudding teased when she saw that Tang Chuan was only wearing a leather jacket and had his car keys and phone in his hand. Who said we came empty-handed? Come, look. Tang Chuan pointed. The twins' eyes immediately lit up. Wow, what did I just see? Is that Black Forest cake? And Haagen-Dazs. Little Bean ran down the stairs shamelessly. Pudding couldn't stay calm anymore. Uncle Tang is really generous. It seems like he's determined to pursue our auntie. That's for sure. I have to show my sincerity. What a pity. Pudding shook her head and sighed. What's a pity? Tang Chuan was puzzled. It's a pity that my auntie is going back to America tomorrow. I'm afraid you won't be able to help her then. That's not a problem. It's not a problem as long as they're both on Earth. At most, I'll just go to America to chase after them. Tang Chuan seemed to be mentally prepared. While eating Haagen-Dazs, Little Bean gave him a thumbs up. That's awesome. I support you. Little Bean, you can't be so shameless. Pudding scolded. You can't blame me for being shameless. Ha. It's understandable that I'm shameless sometimes. Little Bean was very happy as she ate. Pudding, you can't say the same thing. I'm absolutely sincere about your auntie. Don't misunderstand me. Of course, I'll prove it with my actions. Come on, have some black swan to calm yourself down. Tang Chuan handed the cake to Pudding. Pudding glanced at Tang Chuan and finally took the cake. However, her next sentence was, you have to bring my auntie back before 11 p.m. Otherwise, I won't forgive you. Damn. It's already 8:30 p.m. You're only giving me 2.5 hours. That's so cruel. I don't care. You have to bring her back before 11 p.m. Okay. My lady, you're much scarier than your parents, sometimes. Pudding was as serious as an adult. Tang Chuan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Qin Chu and Mian couldn't help but laugh. When Qin Ning came downstairs, she was dressed very simply. She wore black jeans and a white round-neck sweater. Outside, she wore a thick dark green cashmere coat. Although it was simple, she looked like a socialite. Big brother, sis-in-law. I'll go out first, Qin Ning said. Auntie, you have to be smart. Don't let him take advantage of you. Little Bean reminded her. Chapter 21:31. Okay, I know, you little brat. Qin Ning rubbed Little Bean's head lovingly. What kind of person do you think I am? Am I that kind of person? Tang Chuan was obviously not convinced. To his surprise, the twins replied in unison, you are. Tang Chuan was speechless. Okay, pretend I didn't say anything. Ha. Although Qin Ning didn't want to, she had no choice but to accept Tang Chuan coming to South Hill Manor to pick her up in person. If she didn't go now, it would be too much. Besides, Qin Ning knew that even though Tang Chuan was sometimes a little outrageous, he wasn't without depth. After all, she was the sister of Qin Chu and Min. Even if Tang Chuan had evil intentions, he wouldn't have the guts to do anything to her. After Qin Ning sat in the car, Tang Chuan's heart was filled with excitement. What do you want to eat? Anything. Sorry, we don't have a restaurant called Anything here. Tang Chuan deliberately teased her. Is it what I want to eat? Are you willing to accompany me? Qin Ning rolled her eyes and asked deliberately. Of course, I'm willing to risk my life to accompany you. Tang Chuan said this very manly. Okay, then accompany me to Chang and Street Food Street, Chang and Street Food Street. Did I hear you right? You didn't hear me wrong, are you sure? Tang Chuan couldn't help but ask again. I'm sure. Qin Ning nodded. Okay. Whatever you want. Then Tang Chuan stepped on the gas pedal and the two of them went straight to Chang and Street. Chang and Street was a very lively night market that was open until midnight, regardless of winter or summer. There were special snack bars and many stalls on both sides of the street. It was commonly known as the food street. When tourists from other places came, they would come here to try the local specialties and even national delicacies. However, Tang Chuan rarely came to places like this because in his opinion, the stalls on the street were unhygienic and low class. Not only was it unhygienic and tasty, but there were also people on both sides. The environment was also dirty and messy. So when Qin Ning said she was going, he didn't believe her at first and thought he had heard wrong. When they arrived at their destination, Tang Chuan parked the car and the two of them got out. Qin Ning had been here once before with the twins and the bodyguard because Little Bean and Pudding liked to eat it. However, Huamin didn't allow them to come here to protect their stomachs, so they could only secretly beg Qin Ning to come. Little Bean liked to eat donkey rolls and lamb rigiamo. Pudding likes potato flour and baked gluten. The last time Qin Ning came here, she also had a great time. She wanted to come here again, so when Tang Chuan asked her what she wanted to eat, she immediately thought of this. What do you want to eat? I'll go buy it. Tang Chuan showed his gentlemanly side. Fried stinky tofu. Qin Ning didn't hold back. What? Tang Chuan repeated. Fried stinky tofu. Qin Ning answered confidently. Okay, girl, you have a strong taste. Tang Chuan blushed with shame. Then, he turned around and walked towards the stall selling stinky tofu. There were quite a lot of people there. Tang Chuan didn't like to party, so he took out 100 yuan and threw it into the hands of the woman selling stinky tofu. Give me one. Keep the change. Hurry up, I don't want to wait in line. As soon as Tang Chuan finished speaking, the people in line looked at him as if he was a monster. It was obvious that he was stupid and had a lot of money. What a stupid son of a landlord, 100 yuan to buy a box of stinky tofu that cost 5 yuan. How stupid. However, the woman was very helpful. She quickly poured a bowl of stinky tofu for Tang Chuan. When Tang Chuan held the stinky tofu, he couldn't help but exclaim, "Damn, this stinks. I think it's soaked in feces." His words angered everyone, and they all looked at him with murderous gazes. The woman retorted in her local dialect, "Young man, don't talk nonsense. This is healthy and safe. Here, madam. Eat it while it's hot." Tang Chuan turned his head and held the stinky tofu in front of Qin Ning with a look of disgust. "You eat first." Qin Ning ordered domineeringly. What? Tang Chuan felt like the sky was falling. Chapter 2132. Take a bite and taste it for me. I'll decide if I want to eat it or not. So, you haven't eaten this damn thing before? Tang Chuan felt like he was about to collapse. Uh-huh. Qin Ning nodded. Can I not eat it? Tang Chuan had indeed never eaten it before, but the smell was as disgusting as feces. Sure, then let's go home and find our mothers. Qin Ning deliberately turned around to leave. Hey, don't do that, we can talk about it. Tang Chuan excitedly stopped Qin Ning. So, do you want to eat it or not? Tang Chuan lowered his head and remained silent for 5 seconds. Finally, he looked like he was ready to die. Yes, okay, so hurry up and eat it while it's hot. Tang Chuan held back his tears and closed his eyes. Finally, he opened his mouth wide and ate a piece of stinky tofu in one bite. Rather than saying he ate, it was more like he swallowed. While Tang Chuan was eating, Qin Ning urged him, hurry up and eat. Take big bites. Eat more. Another one, under Qin Ning's urging, Tang Chuan ate 3 pieces of stinky tofu in one go. Then, Tang Chuan looked at Qin Ning with tears in his eyes. Madam, is this enough? I've eaten 3, yes, is it good? Qin Ning asked excitedly. Yes, it's good, have one. Tang Chuan handed the stinky tofu to Qin Ning like a landmine. Who knew that Qin Ning would say, since you like it so much, you can eat it all. I'm not eating it, I'll go eat something else. Then, Qin Ning turned around, leaving Tang Chuan alone in the wind with the stinky tofu in his hands. At a time like this, Tang Chuan was still in the mood to post on his WeChat moments. He took out his phone and took a picture of the stinky tofu and posted it on his WeChat moments. He wrote, "Motherfucker, tell me who invented this damn thing. I promise I won't beat him to death." Huh, Tang Chuan, have you eaten it? Is it good? Young Master Tang, you're on Chang'an Street? I'm nearby too. Young Master Tang, are you with a girl? You didn't even call us when you went to the streets of Chang'an, humph. Lord Su's comment was the best. He said, Tang Chuan, you're not allowed to come to my house for the next week. Stay away from me. It stinks. Lord Su was full of disdain. Looking at these silly comments, Tang Chuan wanted to cry but had no tears. Qin Ning, on the other hand, had originally planned to prank Tang Chuan, but she realized that she had indeed gone too far. Because Tang Chuan kept vomiting. It seemed that he really couldn't stand the smell. In the end, in order to make up for his trauma, Qin Ning found a barbecue restaurant. He sat down with Tang Chuan, ordered some skewers, and drank some beer. My joke just now was a bit too much. I apologize, and I'll treat you to skewers and beer. Beer? That's fine. How's your alcohol tolerance? Tang Chuan asked with a smile. Normal. Qin Ning replied. How much is it usually? Tang Chuan was curious. Qin Ning raised her index finger. Only 1 bottle? Okay, then let's drink slowly. Drinking beer and eating skewers was one of the hobbies of Northerners. It didn't matter if it was winter or summer. Tang Chuan and Qin Ning sat across from each other. As they ate skewers, they had already forgotten about the previous unpleasantness. I say, are you really going to leave tomorrow? Yeah, what if, and I'm saying what if the plane is delayed? What if it can't take off? Will you still leave? Tang Chuan asked. If it's because of the weather and there's nothing I can do, then I'll just have to wait. Qin Ning replied quietly. But, what? You're not thinking about blowing up the plane, are you? Qin Ning looked at Tang Chuan mysteriously and asked. Chapter 2133. Ugh. I'm not that good. Tang Chuan was speechless. The two of them chatted and laughed as they each drank a bottle of beer. However, they didn't feel drunk at all. Boss, 2 more bottles, just like that. They drank 2 bottles at a time until they each drank 7. Tang Chuan was slightly tipsy. Qin Ning, on the other hand, was calm and collected as she continued to eat her tofu rolls. Hey, madam, did you really say 1 bottle? It doesn't look like it. Tang Chuan couldn't help but ask. I didn't say that it's a bottle's worth. Then, what do you mean by this? Tang Chuan raised his index finger and imitated Qin Ning's action. I said keep drinking. Tang Chuan almost fell off his chair when he heard this. The two of them were joking around and the atmosphere was harmonious. Suddenly, a tall and slim woman walked over. Ah, Chuan, what a coincidence. Are you eating with your friends? Her voice was extremely gentle and her smile was sweet. The moment Tang Chuan looked up, his entire expression changed. Why are you here? His reaction seemed to be very strong. Qin Ning also looked up curiously at the woman in front of her. Emicham, I didn't come with my friends. I didn't think I'd run into you on Chang'an Street. Is this your friend? The woman smiled like a flower and her movements were very elegant. Yeah, this is my girlfriend. Tang Chuan deliberately emphasized the word girlfriend. The woman didn't seem surprised. She smiled and said, You changed girlfriends again? It seems like you're still as playful as before. When will you grow up? Don't make your parents worry. Auntie, you don't have to worry about that. Tang Chuan said in a strange tone. When Qin Ning heard him call her auntie, she almost choked on her meat skewer. This woman was obviously very young. She looked like she wasn't even 30 years old. Tang Chuan actually called her auntie. That was unbelievable. Ning Ning, come, let me introduce you. This is my auntie. My biological auntie. She's my uncle's mistress. Oh, no, let me think. She's now his wife. After all, she's the mistress and successfully replaced my auntie. My uncle is almost 50 years old. That's how it is. Tang Chuan didn't give the woman any face. In front of Qin Ning's face, he insulted this woman. After Qin Ning heard this, she still couldn't believe it and couldn't believe it. The woman's auntie, Qin Ning's auntie's auntie. Chuan, she said, auntie's auntie, auntie, Tang, auntie, you must be joking. How would I dare to blame you? You're an elder. Plus, we're both unmarried. You're not related to me. You can't be so harsh on me. As the saying goes, every man for himself. Auntie, you've always been decisive and resolute. I, Tang Chuan, admire you from the bottom of my heart. They say that only ruthless people can achieve great things. I'm impressed, Tang Chuan said to the woman with his fists clasped together. The woman's face also turned pale. Should we go now? Her best friend behind her urged. Then we won't disturb your meal. If you have time, go visit your Uncle Qin. He hasn't been very well lately. Plus, he loved you the most when you were young. Don't hate him for what happened in the past. The woman said worriedly. Of course. My Uncle Qin will always be my Uncle Qin. He can't be compared to some bitches. After all, you can't write two Tangs with one stroke. Tang Chuan's words were still very firm, making the woman lose face. Chapter 2134. After hearing what Tang Chuan said, the woman didn't say anything. She nodded awkwardly and turned to leave. After she left, the atmosphere changed. Tang Chuan didn't say a word and downed 3 glasses of wine in a row. Qin Ning felt like there was a story behind this, but since she wasn't that close to Tang Chuan, she couldn't ask too much. So, he could only drink with her in silence. In the end, Tang Chuan looked down at the time. He laughed. Oh, it's almost time. I have to send you back early, or else Pudding will kill me. You're a man, why are you afraid of a child? Qin Ning laughed. Don't joke around, Pudding isn't even a child. I think she might have traveled through time or been reborn. She doesn't have the IQ of a 3-year-old. Even adults can't beat her. They'll be tortured to death by her in minutes. Ha ha ha, you've read too many novels. Travel through time and be reborn. Only you can think of something so melodramatic. Qin Ning laughed. Since both of them had drunk, Tang Chuan called a car. The family chauffeur drove over in a black Bentley. Tang Chuan and Qin Ning sat in the back seat and walked towards South Hill Manor. After the woman finished talking to Tang Chuan's aura became very low. In the back seat, Qin Ning tilted her head and asked, Are you okay? I'm fine, this little bit of wine is nothing. I'm not talking about the wine, I'm talking about your mood. Qin Ning corrected him. Mood? Very good. It's my honor to be able to invite Beauty Qin out for dinner before she comes back. Tang Chuan laughed. Don't joke around, who would believe that? Qin Ning laughed. They didn't talk much on the way to South Hill Manor, but when they arrived, the car stopped at the entrance. Tang Chuan walked Qin Ning to the innermost door like a gentleman. The two of them chatted as they walked. I'm sorry, I booked the plane ticket in advance. Otherwise, I would have stayed to attend your birthday party. Qin Ning felt a little apologetic. After this night, she realized that Tang Chuan wasn't as annoying as she thought. He wasn't the kind of person who would pester her. In fact, he had a little personality. So, are you going to compensate me? Do you want to give me a birthday present in advance? Tang Chuan teased her deliberately. How about I give you a WeChat red packet? After speaking, Qin Ning took out her phone and transferred 8,888 yuan to Tang Chuan. It's not much, but it's a lucky number. Happy birthday in advance. Qin Ning smiled. Unexpectedly, Tang Chuan directly rejected it. Are you complaining that it's too little? Qin Ning deliberately provoked him. That's right, that's right. You think it's too little. Why don't you give me all the balance in your bank account, of course, in your dreams? Qin Ning rolled her eyes at him. As for the red packet, I won't accept it. But if you can't leave tomorrow for any special reason, remember to come to my party. Why does that sound so weird? Qin Ning was curious. It's nothing. Go to bed early. It's cold outside, go inside. Tang Chuan smiled and waved his hand. Qin Ning turned around and said goodbye to him. Okay then, be careful when you go back. Go to bed early. When Qin Ning came back, she was afraid that there would be people in the living room. That would be awkward. If her brother and sister-in-law asked her about her relationship with Tang Chuan, she wouldn't be able to explain it clearly. Fortunately, when she came back, her family was already asleep. She tiptoed to her room. Suddenly, a faint voice came from behind her. Auntie, you're back. Chapter 2135. Fuck, you scared me, Pudding. Qin Ning turned around, still in shock. It's exactly 11:25 a.m. I didn't go over the time. Looks like Uncle Tang is a reliable person, at least he's punctual. Pudding looked at the time on her phone. You're serious. Qin Ning thought Pudding was joking, but she didn't expect her to be so serious. Of course I'm serious. Although I'm just a kid, I still have to keep my promise. Okay, I'm back, so don't worry. Go to sleep, it's already so late. Okay, you should sleep early too. You have a flight to catch tomorrow. Pudding turned around and walked back to her room. After Qin Ning took a shower, she saw Tang Chuan's WeChat message as soon as she laid down on her bed. Thank you for having dinner with me tonight. Other than the stinky tofu, everything else was great. Qin Ning burst out laughing after reading the message. It seemed like this guy was still holding a grudge against the stinky tofu. I'll treat you to durian next time. Qin Ning purposely replied. Oh my god, please forgive me, go to sleep early, good night. Tang Chuan knew that it was getting late and that Qin Ning needed to go to bed. Okay, you too. After Qin Ning said this, she put her phone next to her pillow, closed her eyes, and fell asleep. However, Tang Chuan didn't go to sleep after he said this. After he got drunk, he drove his Ferrari through the night. It was as if he was looking for the lost time in the Fast and Furious. At 1:50 a.m., he parked his car in front of Su Yu's mansion. Then, he started to ring the doorbell like crazy. Su Yu got up in a daze and walked downstairs. Fuck. I opened the door. If I don't kill you, I'll be wasting my breath. Lord Su wanted to kill someone. The person who didn't sleep in the middle of the night was crazy enough to ring his doorbell. The moment he opened the door, Su Yu raised his hand and punched him. Luckily, Tang Chuan dodged in time. What are you doing? The Lord Su is so angry. Tang Chuan was amused. Why don't you fucking try and see how you'll feel if someone keeps ringing your doorbell at 2 in the morning? Su Yu was still not fully awake. It was still in a state of dissociation. Ha 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 ha, am I not too bored? I sent you a WeChat message, but you didn't reply. You didn't pick up my calls either, so I had no choice but to come and find you. Why aren't you sleeping in the middle of the night? My phone is always on silent at night. Su Yu scratched his head, opened the fridge, and took out a can of Coke to drink in a daze. Lord Su. I can't sleep. If you can't sleep, you can go to the red light district. Isn't that your favorite? Su Yu glared at him and said faintly, you can play 2P, 3P, and 3P. Fuck. Lord Su, you're so dirty now. You even know about. Tang Chuan pointed at Su Yu and smiled maliciously. One is marked by the company one keeps. I'm such an innocent person, so it's inevitable that I'll be influenced by you after spending so much time with you. Why don't you just say that's your true nature, Su Yu finally woke up. He wore a white shirt and leaned lazily on the sofa, looking at Tang Chuan. But Lord Tang, since you're not sleeping in the middle of the night, you're probably looking for girls, right? It's not a good idea to come to my house, right? I don't want to look for girls. I'm not interested in girls recently. Don't fucking play with me. I wonder which bastard was flirting with Qin Chu in the WeChat group last night. Su Yu was amused. Right. Speaking of Ning Ning, I have to ask you seriously, are you really not interested in her at all? Tang Chuan looked at Su Yu seriously. Hey. Why are you suddenly talking about me? Su Yu was confused. Chapter 2136. Because I heard that a lot of people wanted to set you up with Qin Ning. We're brothers, and I don't want to be loved by others. I had to find out more about it, got it? Su Yu looked at him with disdain. A lot of people? What do you mean by a lot of people? It's just the twins' prank. If you believe the words of children, it means your IQ isn't very high, okay? So you're not interested in Qin Ning at all? Tang Chuan asked again. Don't fucking talk nonsense. I'm not interested in her at all. Let's not talk about the fact that she's still a little girl. Just based on the fact that she's Qin Chu's sister, do you think we're suitable for each other? You want me to call Huomin my sister-in-law? You might as well kill me. Su Yu continued to take a sip of his cola. Perfect. If you say you're not interested, then I'll go after her. I'm willing to call Huomin my sister-in-law, hee. Tang Chuan smiled seductively. Look at how useless you are, don't say that we're buddies anymore. Su Yu looked like he was exasperated. At this time, Tang Chuan slowly stopped smiling. He suddenly changed the topic and said, Lord Su, today I saw Jining. After hearing this, Su Yu was slightly surprised. Why did you see her? Who knows? She probably came back to visit her family. After all, a lot of her friends and relatives are here. Where's your third uncle? Is he with her? No. Where did you see her? On Chang'an Street. I bumped into her when I finished eating with Qin Ning. Did she talk to you? Su Yu looked at Tang Chuan carefully and asked. Tang Chuan lowered his head and said slowly, yeah, I did. She pretended to be an elder in front of me. She kept saying that your third uncle's health wasn't good, that she would visit him when she was free, and that he shouldn't blame me. You know how I feel every time I mention her, let alone when I see her. If Qin Ning wasn't here, I think I would have lost control. She's a person from the past, and she's just a whore. Why bother? Su Yu comforted her. As Tang Chuan's buddies, Wei Liao and Su Yu knew how big of a blow this incident was to Tang Chuan. Back then, when Tang Chuan and Jining were together, he was as innocent as a silly boy. Even if the woman he loved wanted the moon, he would not pluck the stars. He would carefully coax and support her. He took her with him and introduced her to all his friends and brothers. Even the Tang family's strong opposition could not shake Tang Chuan's determination. He had been fantasizing about renting an island in the Maldives to hold a wedding. Unfortunately, in the end, fate played a trick on him. That woman directly became his third aunt. From then on, there was no future, so Su Yu and Wei Liao only had one word for Jining: whore. A heartless whore. Lord Su, I understand what you're saying. I know it's all in the past and it's time to let it go. But when I saw her like that, I still felt extremely heartbroken. I don't know if this woman's heart is made of stone. Does she really not feel that what she did was wrong? She even pretended to be an elder in front of me. Did she really think she was born to be my third aunt? Motherfucker, she slept with my third uncle after sleeping with me. She's the only one in the world who would do something so disgusting. Actually, you should be glad that she slept with your third uncle and not your dad. Otherwise, you'd be even more devastated. Su Yu said faintly. Fuck, Lord Su, are you trying to comfort me? Tang Chuan did not know whether to laugh or cry. I'm telling the truth. Think about it yourself. Don't you think it makes sense? My old master would not like someone like her. My old master is very smart. Only a fat guy like my third uncle would be fooled by her appearance. Tang Chuan said disdainfully. Okay, let's not talk about her. It's your birthday tomorrow. Have you thought about how to have fun? Su Yu changed the topic. He did not want to continue talking about that heart-wrenching woman with Tang Chuan. Chapter 2137. Tomorrow. Yeah, I've made up my mind. You're not going out to sea this time? Not on a cruise? Su Yu asked with a smile. Tang Chuan shook his head. It's not a cruise ship. If you want to talk about a cruise ship, no one can give you the one on the twins' third birthday. It's a huge, luxurious cruise ship, let's not talk about that. Su Yu felt awkward. Now that he thought about it, he was glad that he didn't propose to Qin Chu. Otherwise, what would he do if Qin Chu came back when he proposed? Or if Qin Chu came back after he proposed? Not only would he lose face, but he would also drag Huamin down with him. Huamin would be in a difficult position. Tomorrow's simple. We'll book the whole hotel and party, that's it? No surprise. There is a surprise. I'm going to kiss Qin Ning. Fuck. Su Yu was shocked. Don't look at me like that. I, Mr. Tang, always do what I say. Are you not confident in me picking up girls? It's not that I'm not confident. The problem is. Isn't she flying back to the States at 10 a.m. tomorrow? Su Yu was confused. The problem is that she can't fly out, so, you did something to it? Su Yu suddenly realized what was going on. Yeah, you can say that. But it depends on how my men do it. Hee hee. Tang Chuan was very excited about tomorrow's event. He seemed to have forgotten about the pain that Jining had caused him. Just like that, Tang Chuan stayed at Su Yu's house for the night. 9:30 a.m. the next day, Qin Chu and Huamin took the twins to the airport to send Qin Ning off. Uncle Tang doesn't know how to do things. He wants to court my auntie and he didn't even come to send her off. People are all so realistic. After all, auntie is coming back to China, and Uncle Tang is thousands of miles away from her. Of course, he's close to her. How could he have the time to see her off? Pudding purposely said sourly. You two, don't talk nonsense. Hurry up and get in. Huamin had been trying to persuade the two little guys to restrain themselves. They shouldn't act like adults and meddle in the affairs of their elders. Qin Ning was actually fine. She was very calm. She had come in a hurry this time. If the twins hadn't been kidnapped, she wouldn't have come to Sea City so quickly. Now that he had been free for so long, it was reasonable for him to go back to work. Brother, sister-in-law, you guys should go back. I'm about to board the plane. Okay, be careful, Qin Chu said. Tell us you're safe when you get off the plane. We'll miss you, Hua Min said as he held on to Qin Ning's hand. Okay, don't worry. I'll be fine. I'm a grown-up now. Plus, didn't my brother assign me 2 bodyguards? Qin Ning smiled. Qin Chu assigned bodyguards to Qin Ning just in case. After all, Chinese people were a minority in the United States. As the youngest member of GK's board of directors, Qin Chu didn't want anything to happen to Qin Ning. Miss Qin, it's almost time. The bodyguard behind her urged her in English. Qin Ning nodded. Then, she squatted down and hugged the twins. She kissed them on the left and right. Pudding, little bean, remember to think of Auntie, we will. Okay, remember to call Auntie and send her a video call. Then, when you're not busy anymore, you guys can go to the States. I'll take you guys to have fun. Qin Ning tempted them. Forget about going to the States. Although it's a lot more fun, we don't have many friends. You should come back to China. We're more familiar with each other here. You guys listen to me in my territory. Pudding emphasized, you're tuning into the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.